Hello? You're going to turn it on? And then you'll be on it? Okay. Right on. Sure. Yes, absolutely. Well, welcome, you guys. We are so incredibly pumped to be here tonight. We got some legends in the room, some heavy hitters, and we are just totally going to be so blessed tonight. My name is Jordan Vansprue. This is my beautiful wife, Vansprue. If we have not met yet, we look forward to meeting you guys, and for those of you guys we do know, and the entrepreneurs in the room that we're in partnership with, we love you guys so much, and we're so incredibly proud to be running in life with you guys. So before we get started, if you could please silence any cell phones, any pagers, any courier pigeons that you guys have, whatever decade you're from, you know, we don't discriminate, young, old, but please, we want to give the speakers tonight the utmost respect and attention that we have, because they're going to absolutely add value. They're going to add so much value to you. And I believe tonight, if you're in the room and you're prepared, which you should be if you're here tonight, that your life will be changed. But that's if you have ears to hear. Because if you're not prepared tonight, if you're just walking in, you're just looking like, I'm just going to check this thing out, I think you're going to hear a completely different talk than the one he's going to give. And we are so incredibly blessed. Our life has been changed because of it. We'll talk more about that. But my wife's last day of work was today. And we busted her out of her job. I got up on top of a limo and I was like dancing. She smashed her alarm clock right out front in front of her office for all of her coworkers and her negative bosses to see. You know, they're like, oh, Freedom, like you're gonna be bored. And like, not as bored as you. So, guys, we are so blessed, like I said, and just a little bit about tonight's speakers. Man, about 4.5 years ago, this couple came into our life and showed us what freedom could look like. And Clinton and Charity Munoz, man, are incredible examples, incredible leaders, incredible entrepreneurs that are helping impact hundreds of lives, thousands of lives, not just in the Orange County area, but all over North America. You know, and they themselves went, graduated from university, came out and probably did the same thing you guys did, went into the rat race, got good jobs, worked for Morgan Stanley and Pepsi, and had great careers at 22 years old from the outside looking in. But the crazy thing was they were $40,000 in debt, you know, spending time away from each other like most couples do these days, right? And just wondering, like, is this all life has for us? And then earned mentorship, activated mentorship in their life, turned their mindset around, and paid off about $40,000 of debt in a year. All right, I think about after 20 months, brought Charity home from her job. And what's it been, Clinton? You haven't worked in, what, 2 years, brother? Oh my gosh. You're like, that dude doesn't even look older than 21. And he's been free for over 2 years, guys. They get asked to speak all over North America, guys, in front of thousands and thousands of different entrepreneurs. So I hope that you guys, because the room is maybe a little bit more of an intimate environment tonight, you don't think that the gravity and magnitude of the door that might be open for you is represented by just this room. This is going on in hundreds and hundreds and thousands of other areas all over North America, with some of the most premier leadership development groups, some of the most premier business technology platforms that are out there. So I hope that this door that is being opened for you, you're taking it seriously. And you're really pursuing and being thankful for the relationships that you're building. Because like I said, if you really are truly looking tonight, your life might just change. Might just change. So here's my incredible wife to share a few things before we get started. Yeah. She's amazing and she's free. And now, and starting tomorrow, she won't ever do a single dang thing again for money. Amen.
That's good. Okay. We are so blessed by you. How close do I have to hold this? I think it's fine. Hello. We are so blessed by you. Thank you for coming. You don't even need to be here. Like, you're doing this to serve us and then serve the people that are getting a chance to hear from you guys tonight. Because I know we got so tremendously blessed 4 years ago when we came in an environment like this. And we have freedom now because of it. So thank you so much for pouring out your hearts, just being who you are, being such impact players, changing our lives forever. And just so thankful and blessed by you guys. So I want to welcome up the incredible Clinton Munoz.
Man, so I heard that we are in about 34 countries tonight. which is awesome. Just kidding. We're in a few states, though. We're in California up north. We are in Michigan tonight. Other parts, I think, of California that I'm not aware of. Anybody else know somewhere? Sacramento, right on. Awesome. I'm going to bring this board up a little bit because if I have to walk over every time, it's going to be like a 5-hour plan, which is awesome. So, guys, welcome. Welcome to tonight. I'm excited. We're pumped, man. It is a privilege to share entrepreneurship with you. It is a privilege to share our hearts and our minds with you. My wife and I, our life was radically changed 5 years ago through an opportunity that was presented in a room just like this. Anyway, it is crazy to think about how much our life changed. It is insane. Jordan, to hear you talk, I'm like, I was distracted by Cheryl's shoes the entire time. Like, oh, them good-looking shoes, man. But man, we're fired up because it's so crazy. I know that one talk could alter a life. I understand the fact that all it takes is hearing something for the first time, one time. I mean, look, you read a book and it changed your life, didn't you? You read this Robert Kiyosaki book. I kind of like love-hated that book at the same time. Like, I like loved that I read it and I hated that I read it. Because then I realized why I was broke. And I was like, man, I paid a lot of money to be broke. And I was just kind of ticked off about it. So tonight's a conversation. Tonight we are just going to talk. I don't have the time nor the capacity to sell every single one of you and get to know you. So than a dialogue. I personally wish I could grab coffee with every single one of you, because most days I'm not in a suit and ties and nice shoes. I'm just wearing board shorts and a tank top, and it's my favorite thing. We'd have a jacuzzi talk, and it'd be awesome, and it'd be so fun because that's just what I love doing. And so tonight's gonna be like that, man. I just kind of want to have just a chat with the people in this room. I know there are two groups of people in this room tonight. There are entrepreneurs who are ecstatic about their future, and they're the ones that are screaming, right? And there's the guests, and they're the ones that are freaked out. Which is awesome, because I came to this room 5 years ago, and I was skeptical, man, and I got to be honest about that, because I think I want to relate to you guys, and what happened to me 5 years ago is I read that book, and we sat down with an amazing couple named Ari and Paige who changed our life forever, and they just let us know that there was more out there to be had than a job. That I was left with the impression that, my gosh, maybe what I'm doing isn't all that I can be doing, and at the same time, I heard about this stuff, man. My parents tried 6 or 7 different network marketing opportunities. My mom did Tupperware Tuesdays. You know, she had makeup Mondays, right? We had everything in the book. They were selling different antioxidant drinks to their friends and family, and my friends were selling knives to people, and I remember just making fun of those guys. My parents sat me down and said, "Listen, never ever do the things your mother and I did." And I was like, "Okay, I'll make sure I don't." And then there was this. And I was like, so you can imagine that because of that, I kind of walked in this room kind of like, man, I don't know what this is all about. I remember coming in the room, I sat in the way back. I remember sneaking in the back. My wife probably wanted to sit up front. She's always like that, excited about new opportunities. I sat in the back and my arms were crossed, my legs were crossed, my eyes were crossed. And I just remember being like, I sat there with my journal open, but I wasn't taking notes on the positive things. I was trying to find everything wrong with this thing. But I'll tell you that even as negative and as skeptical as I was like a positive skeptic, where I'm like, okay, this thing's not real. But internally, I was hoping and praying that it was. Inside, I was like, God, please let this thing be real. Because guys, I don't know about your job. My job sucked. I was around suits all day, but everybody was mad and angry. So I walked around like this, and I was like, everyone's dressed up. I'm like, they're all happy. Like, what did they drink? I want some. You know, I remember being like, this is different. Like, everyone's like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? I'm like, I don't even know you. And you're like shaking my hand. And, I don't know. It's just kind of like different, But I was attracted to that. Who doesn't like positive vibes, And I came to this room 5 years ago, and I was so grateful. The speaker he talked about giving some context for the content he was going to share. And I want to do the same thing, because it really helped me out a ton. And I hope it helps you a little bit. I know that some of you guys are in here because you want to be here. You're excited to have a door open to you. You're grateful, and that's awesome. That's going to show after this talk when we get to know you a little bit, and we can talk to you for a minute. Some of you are here because maybe you just were talked into this. You're kind of like, I don't know what this is all about, but Thursday, it's not Friday. If it was Friday, I wouldn't go, but it's Thursday, and I already went to Thursday, so I'm just going to come here afterward. You know what I mean? That's okay. And some of you came for free cookies, and there aren't any. And I don't know why you're here. You don't know why you're here. And this is going to be how it's going to be for a couple of hours. Unless you find a really good excuse to leave, which by all means you totally can. Right? I know that we have an open door policy. So anytime you feel you want to get up and walk out, we're all going to look at you. But you're more than welcome to do that. But I want to say very clear off the bat that our goal, we have a big goal tonight. My wife and I have a big goal. George and I have a big goal. And that's to share hope. It's to share vision. It's to let you know what else is out there besides of a job. I believe with all my heart that you were made for so much more than to trade your whole life for a paycheck. I believe with all my being that you were created for so much more than to build somebody else's dream with your entire life. Guys, that is how the world works. You are either going to spend your life building somebody else's dream, or you are going to find a way to build your dream life. And if you don't ever pursue your dream life, you will build somebody else's, anything else besides that. So that's our goal, is to have you get hope, to maybe catch a vision. It is not to sign you up. There is zero opportunity tonight to get signed up. You might want to. I know. When I get around me, I get excited. But you might after be like, man, I'm fired up, when I'm pumped up, get me signed up. And we're going to be like, no. Because in our opinion, you cannot jump into something you know nothing about. Right. And after tonight's talk, you might catch a glimpse. I don't know how much we can share about 5 years in 2 hours. And tonight's even less than that. But I know that we're going to give you kind of a 30,000 viewpoint look at entrepreneurship for 5 years and this business model and what this has done for thousands and thousands of families and individuals all across America. Our business is in over 100 countries and territories. So it's tearing up the E mindset, that's for sure. It is wrecking the E's out there. And some E's are changing lives, some are just getting smacked, and then they're going back to their jobs. That's okay. But so what our goal is to educate you on what else is out there. And in my opinion, my wife and I are not professional speakers, right? We don't do this to get paid. We're not getting paid tonight. We're excited to be here, but just please give us some grace, because I don't do this for a living. This is not what I do for a living. This is what I do for fun. This is great. We love doing it. So we have a lot going on tonight. Normally I give a 2-hour presentation. It's been cut back to like an hour. So I'm going to kind of fly through a bunch of material. But I want to share with you a couple things. And that is that when you understand why we do what we do makes complete and total sense. Yeah. But you need to get that, because for my wife and I, we came in this room 5 years ago with kind of the wrong perspective. I came in here trying to look at it like I would a job. Almost like, well, what is it? And then I'll understand what it is, and if I like it, then I'll pursue it. If it's for me, I'll think about it. But notice how it's all about if and what, and it's not about, that is one of the single biggest pivots my wife and I made in the past 5 years. It is no longer about what we do. It's about why we do what we do. See, I'm more convinced now that more than ever, with all the books I've read, the association I have, the friends that I have, the mentors that I have, the people that are in my life, the podcasts I listen to, the seminars I go to, the business functions I attend, I'm more convinced now that it is not about doing what you love. Which I know right there, every E is like, because you've been taught your whole life to do what you love to do. Like your whole life. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, my kid's like 2, and he goes to the park, and they're like, so Clint, what do you want to do with your life? And I just walk in, I just smack them real quick. I just don't want a parent trying to like brainwash my children like you've all been brainwashed. It just bothers me. Because if that's what you base your whole life on, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? First off, they're all jobs. Yeah. It's always like, what do you want to do? And then always like, it has to be a job. Has to fit in this category. Has to fit in this box. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, I had people who thought I would be losers if I did not go to college. Anybody feel like that in here? I was told, if you don't go to college, you're going to be worth nothing. So I was like, well, I want to be worth a little bit of something. So I decided to go to college, but I remember them saying, okay, well, Clinton, based off, you got to know what you're going to study. You got to know what you're going to do. You're 17, 18 years old, you got to know what you're going to do. And I had no idea what I want to do. Who knows what they want to do at 17 years old? I was like, drive fast cars, date pretty girls, travel. How much does that pay? They're like, that doesn't pay. That costs a lot of money. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what I want to do. And I remember them being like, well, here, look at this list. And I'm sure many of you saw that list at some point in your life. I guess my question is, where on that list did it say entrepreneur? Where on that list did it say own your life? Build your own company versus work 50 years building somebody else's, right? It was never taught to me that way. I never saw that growing up. And so I was just fired up because I got in this opportunity, and they said this, they said, it's not about doing what you love, but about creating a life that you love based off what you do. It's not about what you do, it's about creating a life you love, and what you do supplies that life. And that blows my mind because I never thought like that before. I never thought of creating a life that I love based off what I do, which means that the what is a means to an end. The what is not the end. That blew my mind. Because how many of you like me were taught, oh, you got to love what you do. Because if you love what you do, you never what? Is that true? See, my wife and I know why we do what we do. And that makes all the difference. I forget who said it, but he said it was Mark Twain. He said the two greatest days of your life is the day you were born and the day you figure out why. Because it's all about the why. Simon Sinek, a great author and a great speaker, talks about start with why. It's all about the why. It's the most inner part of your brain that decides why you do what you do. You know that you've actually been results-minded with your life, with mostly everything in your life, except for life. When I met Charity, I went, oh my gosh. And I was like, I don't know what it's going to take, but I got to have that. Right? And I didn't care what it took. I remember I remember Valentine's Day playing guitar outside of her window at 6 in the morning. It was freezing. It didn't sound good. My hands were cold. It was but I just didn't care what I had to do to win her over. Found out later she doesn't like that. Embarrassed her. She was like, the neighbors can hear you. I'm like, is that a problem? She says, yes, come inside right now and stop playing. But it didn't matter what it took. I remember trying to work out more. I remember trying to learn how to surf. She grew up in a family of surfers. And her dad surfed. Her brother was sponsored in high school. They all surfed. And I'm from Fresno. There's no surfing in Fresno, in case you didn't know that. Right? There's no surfing there. And I remember coming down, you're like, okay, I got to learn how to surf. Because the girl I want to date is all about her whole family surfs. And I was kind of just a loser in this whole surfing area. I remember grabbing her, I'd gone over to her house and borrowed a board, and I grabbed the longboard in from their garage. And I don't know why we carried the boards into the home and out the front door. That makes no sense to me now. And it was this board that was 10 feet too, and it was a big board. I remember grabbing the board and I walked in, and right in the front of their garage was this desk, and it had all their family photos. And I remember walking in, and you just don't know how big a surfboard is if you've never carried one. And I walked in, and I went, oh, I'll go out the front door, and I went, boom, and right there, every picture on the thing just kept coming off. And almost every frame broke. And I remember her dad being like, that's the guy you're with? And I remember just man, I just felt like, I'm done. All right. Because he was like, nah. I remember trying to make up for that. I remember being like, dang it. I remember I don't know about you guys, but if you're not from the water, the ocean's kind of a scary thing. I know people scared of the ocean. Okay, great. Right, so I remember getting down there and they're like, hey, the water's pretty cold. It's low 60s, high 50s. You're going to need a wetsuit. I'm like, no, that's not a wetsuit. That's a seal suit. Because if you put me in the water, no shark would eat me. But you put me in that, and I was like, man, that looks like lunch and dinner. That's going to be awesome, right? It's a miserable experience. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, you just go out and you come back. And you never actually get out there. You know what I mean? And I realized I couldn't paddle because I was so scared of my arm in the water. I just didn't want to be soul surfer number 2. And I just remember feeling like this is ridiculous. After 3 hours, she was like, good job trying. I was like, yeah. I tell you, because I think that's the biggest thing I relate this thing to. When you know the result, it really doesn't matter what it takes to get there. It comes down to the biggest thing in your life is, how bad do you need it? How bad do you need freedom? How bad do you actually need to change your quadrant? Because what I found out in 5 years is if you don't need it, you won't do it.
Yeah.
If you don't need to actually change your life, you will be here your whole life and you will justify being there. Guys, the enemy of the great life is not the bad life. The enemy of the great life is the good life.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so many people in Orange County have a good life. It's fake, but they have it. Because what I found out is that my wife and I, when you know your values, every decision can filter through your values. It's so simple. It sounds so, success is very simple when you think about it. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's very simple. Successful, it's because you had your values, and every decision in your life came into your life, and you just ask yourself, well, does this decision line up with my values? Yeah. And if it does, you do it. Yeah. If it doesn't, you don't. It's not that complicated. You go, well, I want to run a half marathon. Okay, well, should I go to the Milkshake Shack, and we're all going to get the biggest one there with 9 scoops of ice cream, and it's the night before your run. And you go, well, that sounds like fun, but it doesn't align with what I've been training for 6 months. So thanks, but no thanks. The same thing happens in this business. When you go, I want to become a bee, you start doing things that bees have done. You start asking yourself, well, if I was a bee, is this what I would do? And you don't know because you're not a bee. So the biggest thing that my wife and I were offered 5 years ago was mentorship. Because if you want to get somewhere you've never been before, you probably got to listen to somebody you've never listened to before. I'm not bashing your mama. This isn't mama jokes. I love your mama as much as you do. Probably not. She didn't birth me. But if your mom is an E, she can only teach you how to be an E. It doesn't mean she's a bad person or I'm dissing your mama. If your daddy has a job, he can teach you how to get a job. But he can't teach you how to get the results of a B quadrant person. Ladies and gentlemen, less than 2% of people live on this side of the quadrants. 98% of the population in America is on this side. So it's not about them being good or bad people. I'm not here to argue their morals. I'm here to argue how they make money. Because a lot of people say, well, you know, my grandpa he's been pretty successful, and that's great. He probably has. But can he teach you how to do exactly what you need to do to get to where he's at? Charity's grandpa is a multimillionaire. Her uncle was retired at like 37 years old. He developed an app in the real estate industry, took off like crazy. Now he surfs and fishes and kayaks and is like now on some cool, like, what's that called? Like a rowing team? That's great. That's awesome. Good for him. But he could never teach us how to develop an app and sell it to the real estate investment industry. There's no way that could work. He just couldn't do it. Her grandpa's owned a paint business since he was like 15. He can't say, oh, here's how you go own a paint business. Right? That would never work today. And so even though people have achieved great things, the question is it duplicatable? And so what we figured out was that we needed to have a coach in our corner telling us how to do what they've done, guiding us, saying, hey, go left, go right. Hey, you need to do this. You need to invest your money this way, invest your time this way. The biggest thing that changed in our life for the past 5 years is who we take advice from. What blows my mind is how many people would never want to end up like their parents, yet their parents are their number one advisors. What? Like, well, this is good. Let me talk to my mom real quick. I'm like, wait, you just told me you don't want the money your mom doesn't have, mom has. You don't want the home your mom doesn't have. You don't want the relationship your parents have. Yet you're going to go talk to your mom about what exactly? Well, let me see if she thinks it's a good idea. I don't need to explain that one to you guys. See, I'm going to talk about our values because our values are how we base our decisions. You know, your decisions create your life. One of my mentors says, man, you are born looking like your daddy, but you die looking like your decisions. And it's so true. Create who you are. Your habits are instilled in your life. And I get it. You might walk out of here with incredible resolve to change your life. But resolve alone cannot undo what repetition has created. And if you've done things one way your whole life, that's okay. But you don't have to stay there. You can choose to change. The biggest opportunity my wife and I had 5 years ago was to change. To change what we do on a daily basis. To change how we think. Everybody wants to invest in real estate. I'm agreeing with that. That's awesome. Invest in real estate. But the most important real estate you need to invest in is the 6 inches between your ears. Some of you, it looks like you may have 7 or 8 inches, which is great. You have a big head and you got more real estate than the rest of us. I probably have about 5 inches, so my opportunities are less in life than yours. But you need to invest in your mindset, right? Because I believe that mindset coupled with mentorship is changing America. One of our biggest values for my wife and I is our faith. I'm not here to impose my faith upon you. My wife and I are Christians. We love the Lord, and it really has been a big filter for us. Now, again, our friends and our family believe in everything you can possibly imagine. We have friends in every sect of religion. People that say they're not religious, they have no faith, which in my opinion is a faith in itself, but they have a faith to have no faith, which is fine. I'm not somebody who's here going to shove my beliefs down your throat tonight or tell you if you're not, I'm not like, hey man, we need to get everybody saved. That's weird. In my opinion, most people that stand on the corner are awkward and they don't believe what I believe. So just so you know, but because I have a faith, one of the things I want to do is make sure that I don't get to heaven and say, crap, I missed it. I want to make sure that with the God-given talents I have, I use them. And whether you believe in God or not, I believe you are talented people. Because I've yet to meet a person who is not talented. That has never happened to me. I have met tens of thousands of people in my lifetime, and I have never met a person that does not have value. Regardless of what you believe, I believe you have intrinsic value that is inside of you, regardless of what you believe about having a creator or there being no creator. What I've realized is that you have a thumbprint, and you are the only person in the entire universe, well, as far as we know, right, that has ever had your thumbprint. You are the only person that has ever lived that has your same thumbprint. Yep. Nobody else however long this earth lasts, nobody will have your same thumbprint. That makes you unique. That means that you have gifts that maybe nobody else in the world has. The way you see something, the way you can interpret something. Maybe you're artsy and it's like, man, the way you envision something. Maybe you're the guy who's like, you make calculated things. That is so awesome. Please come to me afterward. I have none of that in my life. No, my wife does that for me for sure. But you have incredible gifts. And ladies and gentlemen, what I've come to the conclusion of is that your job probably doesn't care about those gifts. Right. I'm not saying every job doesn't. There are jobs that do, which is cool. But overarchingly enough, most jobs do not care about your gifts. Yep. They want you to show up, shut up, yep, and get your job done and clock out and go home. Yep. And don't complain about how much money we pay you. And don't ask for more money. And don't compare this job to the job across the way that could pay you more. Yep. Don't ever bring that to your work, do your time, clock in and clock out and go home. Yep. Yep. That sounds more like a prison sentence than a job. And that was me. Guys, my wife and I pursued everything that we thought America had to offer because we thought America had to offer a good job. We worked hard at getting a business degree. We worked hard at having internships and jobs our whole life. I was employed since the age of like 13 years old. I think it's illegal, so don't come tell those people. But I'm pretty sure I was employed at 13, and my wife had it's more legal. And it's amazing how we pursued these jobs. My wife got a job at Pepsi, which is an incredible company to work for if you're a job person. If you're comparing that job to other jobs, probably a pretty good job. I had a job at Morgan Stanley in the wealth management industry. Not a bad job. I remember them sitting me down at 22 and saying, hey, Clint, if you work really hard here for the next 10 years, you'll become a financial advisor. You'll get all these Series 66 and 63 and Series 7. You'll do all this stuff, and you'll make great money. We're gonna groom you to become a great financial advisor. We see it in you, buddy. We see it in your future, our crystal ball. And I went, well, what does it say? How much money do one of those financial advisor people make? And they go, well, at Morgan Stanley, the bad guys, the guys that suck, make $500,000. The guys that are good make about $1 million. And I went, yeah, I totally foresee it in my future, right? And they said, great, so here's what it's going to look like. We're going to take you off hourly and make you salary. If you're an employed person, that's awesome. You're like, yes, I'm salaried. I get benefits. I remember calling my mom that day, Mom, I got benefits. And she's like, oh, Hercules. She was ecstatic for me. She was so pumped. I remember telling all my friends, I remember telling our school, our college, that my wife and I got good paying jobs with a 6% match on our 401k. And we have great benefits and company cars and company iPads and company cell phones and company this and company that and company gas cards and food paid for 3-4 times a week and blah 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 blah. And every E that I knew went, wow. And I remember like our college called us and said, Clinton Charity, you guys got to come share with the student body. You guys got to come teach me how to get these amazing jobs. And I went, well, let me check my calendar. Because I really had no time. Before I knew it, they said, Clinton, you're a team player, aren't you? Oh, yes, I'm a team player. I'll do whatever you need, right? Well, here, can you start running and getting some coffee before we start? That'd be awesome. That's if you impress the boss, that's going to look good for you. Oh, okay, I'll do that. And I go to Starbucks and get coffee now. Hey, Clinton, can you grab us lunch? Yeah, sure, no problem. Getting lunch and working. Hey, Clinton, do you mind wrapping this up? I know the big project, the client, Mr. Jones, coming in tomorrow morning. I didn't have time to wrap it up. You mind wrapping it up? Sure. And pretty soon I was the first one in the office and the last one to leave. Yeah. Pretty soon I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, clocking at 6, and leaving at 6 or 7 at night every single night. Working 11, 12-hour days, 5 days a week for sure, sometimes 6. Doing the math and going, wait a minute, I made this much working 40 hours a week. Now I make 20 grand more, but I work 80 hours a week. I think I make less money. It's amazing how corporate America wants your soul. It's amazing how, I'm not here to argue what your company looks like. I just know that the majority of companies, the higher up you get, the higher number of the divorce rate. The higher up you get, and the more they can justify horrible things. They said, Clinton, hey, we're going to go meet some clients in Vegas. And one of my biggest values in life was not only honoring God, but honoring my family. I wanted to honor my wife. I got married to that girl. I didn't just get married to her for tax benefits. There were a lot of other benefits I was also excited about. And let me tell you, you don't have those benefits if you lose your integrity. You don't have those benefits if she doesn't respect you. You got it. Whatever you came at, you just got it. You men, you're like, oh, that's awesome. That's all I needed, bro. Thank you. Respect, get other benefits. Awesome. And that is the truth. And it's amazing how these guys were telling me my value isn't my family. See, here's what I realized. I realized that only I can be your husband. But if they fired me from the job, any Tom, Dick, or Harry, or whatever names are like that, could get that job, and they replaced me like that when I left that company. They didn't cry about it. They said, Clinton, you're an idiot for leaving. I said, well, that's okay. I'm going to go be a full-time father. And they didn't even get that. In fact, it wasn't one of their values. If it was, they probably wouldn't be working there. Right? I'm going to be a full-time husband. What is that? Well, like where I can sleep and make money. They went, that'll never work. Right? It's awesome. That just amazed me because my values were that I wanted to do whatever it took to be a father and to be a great husband. You cannot be a great husband and think that what you do in Vegas stays in Vegas. They would say that. Clinton, we're going to do some client work, some business stuff in Vegas. A couple days. Tell your wife, come with us. We'll show you the ropes. You all know what that means. Yeah. And I went, no. And they went, well, Clinton, this is part of what we do, man. This is part of our culture. Are you saying you're not part of the culture? And I said, well, I'll take a rain check. And I walked out of the office going, oh crap, what am I going to do? If what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, you'd still be married. And your kids will respect you. Dads. And you wouldn't be on your second and third and fourth marriage. Because obviously, what doesn't stay in Vegas. Obviously, your habits are very well known in your home, and your kids look at you and they get sick and disgusted by you because you not only married their mother, but you had sex with all these other women, and you know that was okay. And now you want to get the young kid off the block out of college and go do the same thing with him? What's wrong with this place? And maybe you're okay with that, but I wasn't okay with that. And maybe you're okay with living the majority of your life away from your wife, but I wasn't okay with that. I was sick and tired of giving my boss my best and giving my wife the rest. Nobody likes job leftovers. Nobody. You don't work 12 hours a day and come home happy. You come home hangry. And Clinton hangry is not good. It's not pretty. I'd come home and we'd make dinner, or she'd be making dinner, and I'd probably complain about dinner she made because she never really... My wife does a lot of things right. I'm just going to stop there. And so we would eat. Our favorite thing to make for dinner is a reservation. So it's awesome. So we would eat the food, or we would order different food. But it's amazing how you spend 11 hours a day at a job, and you don't want to talk about your job. When your wife goes, how's work? You go, that's the last thing I want to talk about. 72% divorce rate. Yeah. And it's not really amazing to me. Why? Because I've analyzed it. This fall out of love thing's probably legit. Work. How many married people do I have in the house now? Or dating, married. Okay, awesome. How many singles I got in the house? Am I single? Oh, am I single? Right, but it's like, well, that's great too, and I'm all about that. And I just hope that you singles, you understand that you have a lot of value, and you wait for the right person to come along. Yes. Better yet, become the right person, and then the right person will appear. That is for sure truth. Yeah. You become the best version of you, and you meet the best version of him or her out there. Mm-hmm. But if you don't work on you, you're going to keep meeting people lower caliber than you, and you're going to keep being frustrated. Can I get an amen, ladies? It's like, hold on, I got to text the guy real quick. We're done. You know what I mean, right? And good for you. You should do that. But here's what I realized, right? What happens is guys wake up and they go to their job. And gals wake up and they go to their job. And all of a sudden he has his coworkers and she has her coworkers. And he has his hobbies at work and she has her hobbies at work. And he has his emails and she has her emails. And nothing is in sync anymore. And all of his value, all of his time, all of his priority is put in a position. And all of her time and all of her effort and all of her energy is put into position. And what's amazing, they come home and they don't talk about their jobs because no one wants to do that. You don't get props from the other person. It's a catch-22. The guy says, well, I'm making all this money for you, woman. I'm putting a roof over your head. I'm paying the bills. She goes, but I never see you. And I want to see you. And our kids need to see you. And I want to travel with you. And the guy goes, well, you should be grateful. And the girl says, well, I feel neglected. And the guy goes and says, well, where can I feel affirmed? And if he's only getting affirmed at his job, he's going to spend more time there. Why would you spend more time at home where all you do is belittled all day long? Why would you go home and spend time there? And all of a sudden somebody at work is like, man, you're doing awesome. And it's the opposite sex. And the same thing happens for females all the time. Where a female makes the money, she's the breadwinner of the family. It happens a lot in Orange County because you women are kick butt. And it's awesome. It's cool that jobs are willing to pay women a lot of money in Orange County to do great things. That's pretty cool to me. I don't diss that by any means. But all of a sudden she has this career she's building and he's out of the picture. And he feels like, man, you put all this emphasis over here. We're not connected anymore. You always find somebody you want to connect with. What I found is that you love what the area of love. Love is a direct correlation to how much time you spend doing a thing or spending time with a person or pursuing a hobby, pursuing a sport. Amazing how most sports you would say you love, you probably played for 10 years. Yeah. Most things you love, like cars, you probably spent a long time analyzing cars and working on cars and looking at cars with your dad or your friends. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Same thing for a relationship. The amount of love you're going to have for that person is dependent upon how much time you spend with that person. Yeah. And that was one of my values. So when somebody said, hey, Clint, I can teach you how to change your life and change your habits so you can spend more time with your wife, I go, well, what is it? I didn't have the right to say that. Yeah. Even though I was skeptical, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of skeptical, but in my heart I was like, man, I hope this thing's legit. Yeah. Because I'm praying for something else in my life. Yeah. I'm just seeking other stuff in my life. Hoping that someone's going to give me more time to spend with the people I love. Like my wife and my future kids. We didn't have any kids that I could have my wife. Yeah. In fact, I didn't really want to have kids. And then the goalie moved. And we scored. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? It's amazing. And some of you are like, there's a lapse in the video, but there's like a lapse in here too. It's like, oh, here it is. But so what happened is like, okay, but then what's incredible is because we built this asset, we had a side income. And we actually planned my wife's Freedom Day, a certain date when it was about a month out or a month and a half out. And in between that time, we found out we were expecting. So she got to be like the most like luxurious pregnant wife, just sitting in a pool during the summer like this, floating around pregnant. It was awesome. She didn't have to be in an office, running to the bathroom, throwing up, and coming back and doing her work with like stuff still on her blouse. You know what I mean? She didn't have to go to her coworkers, hey, can you hold my hair back? You know what I mean? She didn't have to do any of that. There wasn't on client calls, didn't sit in the company car on her way to a meeting, being pregnant. She never had any of that. It's pretty cool. But that's our values, right? It was all about why we do what we do. Guys, I want you to know why you do what you do. Because it's so important. It's so stinking. My wife and I, what I realized is that we had to change our habits. Yes, we wanted a life that we had not created thus far. So bad. I grew up with wealthy people. I grew up with my friends having a lot of stuff, and it was awesome. And what I realized was this truth, that money doesn't necessarily make you happy. I know a lot of millionaires that are miserable. No, I don't know them personally. Those actually are my association. I know a lot of millionaires in my life that are very happy. But they go by this truth. Money doesn't make you happy. But using your money to make an impact does. And making a lot of money, there's nothing wrong with making money. I was raised in such a way that money is the root of all evil. Well, whoever said that didn't even read the Bible. Because it says the love of money is the root of all evil. That's true. If money's your God, you don't care who you're going to run over to get it. You're the next Bernie Madoff, and please don't meet me afterward. I don't have no desire to meet you, right? Because that's all your goal is to make money. And I'm like, I don't know about that. What I've realized is that making money doesn't make you happy, but not having to work for it does. Let's analyze this. When you get a birthday card with a big wad of cash in it that you didn't work for, are you mad? You're like, no, I don't want that card. Give me the next birthday card. You don't do that, right? No, you're excited about it. That's what I've realized. When you go and you buy a lottery ticket for $1 and you won $5, you're fired up. It's $5. Like, yeah, I won. I'm a winner. You know what I mean? When you find out that your 401k even jumped by 1% and it added like $30, you get excited because you didn't have to work for it. Guys, what I've realized is that money doesn't make you happy, but not having to work for it, that's a game changer. When you can actually understand a business model, because that offers freedom. Freedom to sow the values into your kids that no one else is going to sow into them. One of our biggest values was spend time with our kids when we had kids. Now, a lot of you may not have kids yet. That's okay. I realize when you can't get like 35 or above to have kids, it's kind of weird. And when I grew up in Fresno, you're like 12. You're having, I'm just kidding. No, 13. But I mean, but what I realized was like, man, if we have kids, are they going to be like raised in a group? Like it's like group child raising? Because everywhere you look is group child care. It's not one-on-one child care. It's 10 kids to one adult. Guys, we have 2 boys, and and they drive me insane. They're insanely awesome, and they're amazing, and they're great. I'm not complaining about it. But when I am like, when we're home, like today, we're all day with them, I get tired. And I go, I cannot imagine being one of me watching 10 kids. Yeah. I can barely watch my own kids. Imagine if somebody else's kid. I would for sure be like, kids, suck on the passy, and if you cry again, you don't want to know what's going to happen. Little 3-month-old's like, right? I mean, of course you just put kids in a playground and hope they're okay afterward. Yeah. There are so many stories of kids being left at daycares. Yeah. The mom going and be like, hey, the place is shut down. I think my kid's in there still. And they call the manager and they go, oh, no, there's no more kids. No, I am her mother. And I didn't pick up my kid. Is my kid kidnapped? Or is my... And they show up and they did clear the inside room, but they forgot to check the playground before they locked it up and walked out. Yeah. And the kid's still out back on the swings. This is awesome. No supervision. Let me tell you something, kids don't think that. No. Kids think, where the crap is my parents? Yeah. They don't love me. What I've realized is that our whole system is backwards. And you're taught with every single class from the age of 5, time equals money. I don't know about you, but one of those is way more important to me. And it's not money. It's T-I-M-E. The most expensive thing you will ever buy. Time is so much more valuable than money. You know, we know some people who've died in their 50s and 60s, and they've been multi-millionaires. People who created apps and businesses, people that got a heart attack, boom, gone. You think at that point they wish they had more money or more time? I hear about so many parents that are losing kids at a young age to cancer or to these things that are happening. It's crazy, and all these kids are dying of AIDS across the world. And I guarantee you, as a parent, and your kid's dying, you don't wish you had more money with them. You wish you had more time. Yep. I've yet to meet people who died on their deathbed and said, hey, what do you wish you could have changed with your life? And they said, I just wish I spent more time at the office. No. They said, I wish I spent more time with the people I love. Yep. And it is so ridiculous to me to think that if one is so much greater than the other, why in the world, and how brainwashed to think that I should trade the greater for the lesser? That is a bad deal. That is like going to the pawn shop kings and them winning and like screwing you over. And they're like, listen, it's worth $5,000, I'll pay you $5. You're like, okay. You know what I mean? That's like you playing your little card games or baseball cards or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, wherever you played. And so like, I'll give you a Charizard for your Pikachu. You're like, okay, you know what I mean? You would never do that. You would never trade something of value for something of so little value. You would never do that. But we do it every single day because a job will never pay you what you are worth. They will always pay you what the job is worth. You can feel like you're worth $1 million. And you go on and go, hey, listen, I think I'm a millionaire today. I think that's great, Bob. Get the back of those patties, they need flipping, add the buns, add the cheese, and wrap it up right. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you feel like you're worth. They're going to pay you what the job is worth. And that is the truth. And so I want to explain to you that I believe you're worth more. But it is a decision in somebody's heart to let somebody believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Yeah. My wife and I are not special by any means. I didn't do well in school. Jordan was like a mathlete. I don't know what that is. He was an athlete and a mathlete. That's amazing. And I look at Cheryl and all the stuff she did. I mean, you know that there's professional jump rope out there? I brought jump ropes. I heard she should show us. So I just can't. She could like double dutch your butt. It'd be awesome, man. She could whip you and then keep going. I'm sure Jordan does some of that at home. But you know, but I just what I want to talk about is you know, there are some people that are just way more accomplished than my wife and I, even in this room. You've done so much more in life. You've owned business already. That's amazing. You've got a doctorate degree. You are a doctor. You're a dentist. You have some kind of practice. Maybe you're like, no, I flip burgers. That's okay. But here's what I've realized. Like, at some point, you got to believe you're worth more than what you're doing. Because I'll be honest, folks, if you don't believe you're worth more, you'll settle for less. Yeah. If you don't believe you deserve a great relationship with somebody, you'll settle for dudes that have no right dating you. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't believe you're worth more than that, you'll settle for gals that use you for, I don't know, you probably don't have any money if you're in here, but the money you pretend to have. Right? They'll use you for your good looks. Good looks are awesome. Nothing wrong with good looks. But most who have good looks have a low self-image. Yeah. Because they think that's all they got. Yeah. And that is not true. Yeah. Some of you are just, I'm fired up for you. You know you got nothing going for you, but you want more out of life. That is so, I'm just like kidding. There's not an ugly person in this room. You are all good looking people. I love every single one of you. Just for comedy act. But okay, but back on track. But what I'm saying is that my wife and I, see, we came to this room, and the only reason my wife and I believe we're successful, one of the biggest reasons at least, was because we believed there was more to life than what we were doing. Yeah. We just believed that. My wife just believed when she heard. I mean, we were always so passionate whenever we got around people of passion. Whenever I got around people who had a vision and a calling and a purpose in their life, something inside of me. I mean, it was deep. It was way down there. But it kind of like it just flickered, man. Just a little flame. Yeah. I remember being in church and they were talking about the men of the Bible who had done these great things and stood on principle and character and integrity and gone and like changed the world. I remember just being like, man, like, I want to do that. I want to be somebody. I don't want to be a nobody. I remember my wife going to hearing a gal named Christine Kane who's right now fighting the war on slavery, of sex slavery and all this stuff, and just it's a crazy world out there. And she's fighting. And my wife saw this gal and heard her speak, I believe, right? And she went, I need to be with this gal and abolish human trafficking with her. And that's who she was. She just felt there was something. She wasn't always passionate about it. She was happy, passionate about it. It's amazing how we just knew inside of our heart there was more to life than a job. And I'll be honest, most people don't. What I found is that in life there's really a third out there. A third of people in the world, they're negative. And so are their bank accounts. Which just makes them more negative, right? I wish they would change, but they won't. Don't try to change negative people. They may make you negative. You should stay away from them because they have the plague called negativity. And it is a real plague. Beware. And there is another third out there that is complacent. And they will say everything that makes everybody around them think they got it going on. They don't have anything going on. They just sound like it. That was me. I could sound so cool and so intelligent, but I had nothing going on. And there's another third out there that they want more out of life. And they really want more. And I was right in between those two thirds where I knew I wanted more, but I didn't really have much going on. And that last third, every single night, they lay their head on the pillow and they go, there's got to be more here. They park in their parking garage, like I did at 600 Newport Avenue. And they sit there and see everybody going to work, all these suits walking in, 6 in the morning. And they think, there's got to be more to life than this. They look at the ocean and they go, there's got to be more to life than this. And you're out there and you're hiking around the world. You're doing, and you see how big the world is. And how many needs are out there. And you just think in your heart, there's got to be more than me working a job. There's got to be more to life than me doing something like I'm doing. And I'm so grateful because what I've realized is that normally every new opportunity is built because of a new relationship. And one of our business partners taught me that, and I love that saying. Because it's so true. Guys, I wanted to walk through a door of opportunity, but the door of opportunity, like this door right here, is only opened on the other side. What I've realized is that most doors that lead somewhere that you want to go, you can't open it from your side. It's like my kid. I love my little 2-year-old, but right now he can do a lot, and I've had to put the child safe lock on my door. He's so bad, wants to get out of the car on the freeway. He thinks he's Superman. He's like, I got this, Dad. And I love the fact that he wants a new opportunity that's going to kill him. But I've had to say, kid, that is not the opportunity for you. And I had to protect him. And just like that, I think there are sometimes we want to get somewhere we can't go, but you need somebody else to come and open that door for you. Because you cannot open that door, especially in this arena. And my wife and I wanted more out of life. We believed there was more in life than what we were doing. But we didn't know how to get there. It was like the rainbow. Have you ever tried to catch a rainbow before? Ross probably has. I can see Ross sprinting after the rainbow. He'd be farther ahead probably because he's more fit than I am. But it's kind of like that. And I found that what has to happen is somebody has to say, hey, let me coach you. Let me mentor you. Let me show you how to reach your potential. Let me show you how to dig down deep into who you are as a person and pull that out of you. My wife and I, hands down, we are the epitome of the turtle on the fence post. Nobody looks at the turtle on the fence post and goes, wow, that is an incredible turtle. They say, who put that thing there? Right? People look at my wife and they go, who put that thing there? Because it doesn't make sense. Our family friends don't get it. Wait, what? You guys are like, you don't have jobs? You guys, like Clinton, you graduated from high school like 3 point, maybe just 3 point, you know what I mean? Like, that, like Charity, you're really cool, but like, what? You're like speaking on stages to 10,000 people? What? Like, what are you guys doing? You've changed. Thank you. You're not the same. I know. No, I don't know if it's okay. Mm-hmm. The people that are not okay with it are the people that are not changing. Right. It's amazing how you come in this room and you're excited to meet people who are growing because you want to grow. But people who stay away from growth opportunities don't like it when other people grow. Because if you grow and you go back to the same friends you had before, you're going to realize very quickly things have changed. It's you've changed. And they're going to realize very quickly things have changed. And it's you've changed. And you're no longer okay with just sitting there smoking weed for 6 hours at a time. You're now no longer okay with Call of Duty. Why? Because you don't have a sense of duty in your life. You're not sitting there wanting to play Candy Crush anymore with your buddies. You're like, why not? And you're like, because I'm crushing it in life, brother. Right? You're sitting there and like, dude, come on. You're opting out of World of Warcraft? You're like, yes, bro. I want to win in this world. Not some fantasy world that doesn't even exist. I'm tired of being a man in tusks and hairy clothes. It's ridiculous. We had a conference right next to Comic-Con in Anaheim. And I looked out of my window and here I am with 1,000 entrepreneurs, like probably 2,000 entrepreneurs. It was amazing. And here's 40,000 people showing up dressed like fairies. Girls are walking around giving fairy dust. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that doesn't do anything. See, we give you fairy dust here, but it's called the truth. Yeah. And you choose to apply it. Yeah. You choose to walk out of here and apply mentorship to your life. Yeah. But I've realized that I had to change if I want to change. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a different life, you have to do things differently. Yeah. And my wife and I had that opportunity 5 years ago of meeting a couple randomly at church who said, Clinton, Cheryl, do you guys ever believe there's more to life than what you're doing? And I went, You don't know how much I believe that. Because we've been praying for months for something to come into our life outside of what we're working on. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm excited to learn about something. Because I know that what I'm doing right now is not going to get me where I want to go. And that's as simple as it is, folks. You know, and that was my dream. My dream to go to San Diego. And I get on the freeway, and this happens all the time. Ask my wife, I get distracted. I'm like, all right, 405, squirrel. And I go north instead of south. And I drive an hour north. And I go, Charity, we're going north. She goes, oh, I know. I go, what do you tell me? She goes, those books I read told me not to run you over. I just was going to let you do your thing and make your mistakes. Oh, well, that's nice of you, I think. But we've gone an hour out of the way. If we leave now, it'll add an hour back, and then it's still an hour and a half. It's now 2.5 hours to get to San Diego instead of an hour. She goes, well, do you just want to not go? That's my dream. No, we got to just get off and turn around. Most people in life won't do that. What's your dream? I want to retire. I want to make money while I sleep. I want to be a full-time dad. I want to be a full-time mom. I want to invest in my kids. I know that the best gift I could ever give my kids is an example. And I want to give them a great example. I want to have cash flow. I want to travel. I want to own a home. I want to have money. I want to get out of debt. I want to do all this stuff because that's my dream. This process will reveal to you that if you have a job or you are an S, you're going the wrong direction. Because everything that's described is hardly ever attained by people who have a job or a small business. So you got a choice, folks. Get off on the next exit, turn around, or keep telling yourself, it's okay, the world's round. I will eventually get to San Diego. I just keep going north. I'll go 405, I'll hit the 5, I'll get to the 55 and then the 1, and we'll just hit the ocean and go to Canada and we'll hit Alaska. We're going through everything else and we'll get there eventually. No, you won't. The longer you delay your dream, the less likely you are to pursue it. The more people, this is why this room isn't full of like 50-year-olds. I wish it were. 50-year-olds that see this kick butt in this business. They tear it up. Because they know what hard work looks like. They know delayed gratification. They get it. That things of worth take time. But also what happens is most people in this room are probably under 35 years old. Most people that have been brainwashed and kicked in the face so many times and told, get back to work, get back to your job, do your job, shut up, don't ask questions, don't learn, just watch Netflix, watch your life go by, entertain yourself, because this is where you're going to be for your whole stinking life. Lose sight of their dream. I wish this room was 5,000 people tonight. But I've also come to the conclusion that this opportunity and this life of the 2% is not for the chosen few, but for the few who choose. Yeah. The ones that rise up and say, enough is enough. They say, this far and no further. I will no longer be mediocre in my habits. I will no longer pursue average. I will no longer listen to my parents if that's not the life I want to live. I will no longer listen to the advice from my colleagues and my professors and my boss and my mother and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. I will no longer let people who don't have the results I want control me. What's happened, guys, everything is scary. Everything is scary. A new venture is scary. My wife and I were scared to start this opportunity. We were scared. But we came to the point in our life where fear was always present. Fear was always present in my life in areas. But I came to a point 5 years ago where I no longer let fear control me. And that is a very powerful place to come to in your life. When you go, I'm scared, and I'm not going to let it control me. I'm scared, and I'm going to keep going, which is where courage is developed. I am so passionate about what we're doing because my wife and I want to change the world. And I wouldn't be here tonight if I didn't think, if I shared for a couple hours, that I wasn't doing that. I only invest my time in areas that I know there is a return on my investment. And I believe with all my heart that some of you in here have already made the decision that you are going to change your life. And that fires me up, ladies and gentlemen. Because I know that when you change you, you change the world. When you change yourself, it's a ripple effect. And there are people that will be deterred from you changing, but there are also people out there that are lost. And people are drawn to the light. Not just mosquitoes. People with a dream. People that want more out of life. My wife and I met Jordan and Cheryl, and the minute we shared what we were doing, they were drawn to the light. They were like, that's amazing, we want that. We've met people in this room that Jordan and Cheryl have the opportunity to work with, and there's so many of you in here that are kicking butt, and you are going to new heights and reaching new levels, and you are overcoming your demons, and you're overcoming your battles, and you're in there, and you're David, and you got your Goliath, and you're like, come on! And I love that. Because my wife and I are all about that, because what we've realized is that there is a true happiness. That when you overcome the things that you got to overcome, you then can pass that mindset on to others. And then they can overcome what they got to overcome. Can I get an amen? Amen? So no, my wife and I do not think we are changing the world. We know we are changing the world. And the world has never been changed by the majority. It has always been changed by the minority. Every war in the history of the world was started with a minority. And we are totally at war. 100%. We are at war with mediocrity. We are at war with average. My wife and I are at war with the divorce rate. We're at war with men being boys at 35 years old. I am at war with women thinking they have no value. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't understand that you are in war, you've already been won over. Because if I was your enemy, and I were to convince you that you're not at war, I've won. I hope tonight you make the decision at least to learn more about why I talk the way I talk. See, but I don't know what that guy just said, but I'm excited. Did you catch that, babe? No? Okay, all right. Keep going. Because there's things out of my heart that is just erupting tonight because of what happened today. It was absolutely incredible. And we have yet to have the privilege in our business to hand that sledgehammer to somebody else and to say, you've earned your freedom. But we are believing with all of our hearts that there are not just dozens more, but there are hundreds more, and then there are thousands more, and then there are tens of thousands more that want to believe in themselves more. And our job in this business, our role in this business, is that we leverage a system called Worldwide Dream Builders. And it is an incredible training ground. It is the Hell Week that creates the Navy SEAL. It is the training ground that creates the athlete. It is the spring training that creates the best ball players. It is the epitome of having the most amazing. It's the epitome of having Kobe Bryant as your coach if you want to be a ball player. Worldwide Dream Builders is the epitome. There's nothing like it. Nothing touches it. They're in 45 plus countries. They've been around for almost 50 years, and they are tearing the world up because they're saying, what do we need? How do we help people believe in themselves more? The way you believe in yourself more, the way that belief from somebody else gets transcending into you is by you doing things to make you believe in yourself more. Yeah. Same way with losing weight. You think you can lose weight, so you get on a diet, you work hard for about a month, and you get on the scale and go, oh my gosh, it's working! Right? If you're like me, you work out for like a month, and you have your shirt, and your wife goes, hey, you've been working out. That builds my belief like crazy. I'm like, yeah, but I got to go again. 2 days? Oh. Right? But it's amazing how results do build. And the biggest results you need are not just external results, but they're internal results. It's you changing. Because the work in this business is change. And we're going to talk later on tonight, hopefully. But I want to educate you guys on this because what I've realized is that Worldwide Dream Builders, which is the mentorship coaching ground, we teach new habits of these things. We tell people if you're going to be launched in this opportunity, if you are going to earn our time, earn our energy, earn our effort, you are going to learn how to read. You think I know how to read? No, you don't. You've read Of Mice and Men. You don't know how to read. I know how to read. No, you read To Kill a Mockingbird. That book just sounds mean. You don't know how to read. I know how to read. I read Catcher in the Rye. That's why you have a job. You don't know how to read. Well, I read textbooks. I got business degree. No, you don't know how to read. Because what you need in your life is books that are actually going to help you. They're going to change your life. Are those self-help books? Yes, they help yourself. Are you okay with that? Isn't that funny? I think that E. Pill coined that phrase to make reading good books a negative thing. Because it constantly makes them aware of how they're not self-helping themselves. We read tons of books. 15 minutes a day is the minimum requirement if you're going to earn mentorship. We also have a thing called audios. Every single day, like podcasts, 30 minutes a day. If you're going to earn mentorship, you're going to dedicate 30 minutes a day to changing your life by changing your mindset. Every single month, we have an event where we fly in or have somebody come in that is a B and they share their testimony. Testimony, what a cool word. Yeah. Because before you have a testimony, you're tested. Before you have success, you have a lot of suck. And most E's think that you should never be tested, those are bad, and you should never have suck in your life. And that is just so far from the truth. You are taught that failure is bad. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you were born for greatness, but in the United States of America, with our schools, you were bred to fail. Yeah. Yes. And you need to change, because failure is awesome. I believe that if failure is never final, and failure is awesome when you learn from it. Yeah. Because you don't make the same mistake twice. Yeah. But man, if you could learn how to fail well, you would be so successful in life. We have the next event we have is April 3rd, which is going to be absolutely incredible. My mentor, Mike, is coming up with his wife, Robin, April 3rd. And yeah, Mike and Robin, come on, right? Those guys are amazing. Ex-Navy SEAL who did amazing things in the Navy, retired, I think, at 31 years old, hasn't had a... That's pretty cool. Or I'm just a baby, right? Thank you, George. I turn 21 tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. But it's amazing. These guys are going to come in, and they don't need to be there. They're multi-millionaires. They own their own yacht. They own their own plane. They've had multiple properties. Those guys are kicking butt in life. And they're going to come up here to Orange County and share with about 1,000 entrepreneurs what they did, the tests they went through to create success, the suck they went through before they were successful. And I'll tell you, every single one of you, if you had ears to hear and eyes to see that night, you would walk away changed. Because every single time I get around Mike, I'm changed and I'm better. I'll tell you guys, how many of you would say that you get around your friends and your association, and every time you get around them, you're a better person? Because I can guarantee that every time I'm around my mentor, Ari, or my mentor, Kevin, who was successful and then chose to get into this business and kick butt and retired his wife at 29, him at 35. My mentor, Ari and Paige, retired at 24 and 26 years old, and were successful in the music industry and the photography industry at first. These are people that I get around every single time for 5 years. There's not one time I've gotten around them and I've walked away unchanged. Every single time I've been around them. I've been around hundreds and hundreds of times. I'm a better person. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better leader. And I believe in myself more. Because they believe in this guy so much. Worldwide Dream Builders provides the platform for mentorship. Mentorship changes lives. Because mentorship is somebody else knowing who they are. My guess is if you don't know who you are, you're not around people that know who they are. Yeah. But when you're around people who know who they are, they then can give that belief to you and instill in you who you are. Yeah. And we have people in our life that just continue to build us up and encourage us and believe in us. And because of their belief in us, we today lead a very different life than we did 5 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. My wife and I got in this business $40,000 in debt. In about 14 months, we've got all of our student debt paid off. In 6 months later, we built up that back in savings. Can you imagine that? 2 years going from negative 40 to positive 40? Pretty cool, right? And they just kept going from there, which is cool. And so we're going to talk our mindset in our life, and we're going to break down the income streams and how that works and the mindset behind all that. But I want you to know there is, hands down for sure, something I know is that I would not be here if it wasn't for this beautiful woman sitting in front of me. See, Charity, I would love to say I was a bigger dreamer than Charity, but Charity just knew right away this was going to change our life. She knew it. And there were times when I didn't even want to read that book, to be honest with you. He gave me that Robert Kiyosaki, and I was like, I don't know. She's like, I do. You're reading the dang book, buddy. No. She didn't actually say that. But I could tell in her spirit she wanted to learn more. Yeah. It has not been an easy journey for us. 5.5 years of marriage now, 2 kids later, and there have been a lot of things I've had to grow up in. I can very easily say that I came into this a boy, and I'm just now learning what it means to be a man. I'm just now learning what it means to put my family first in my actions. Just now learning for the past few years what it means to values first and put my wife over my comfort. I hear so many men say, well, it's not for me. It's not what I want to do. It's not what fulfills me. It's not something I'm interested in. It's not something I'm passionate about. And all I hear is me, 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 me. Yeah. I thought they got married. I thought when you get married, you put your wife's values first over your own. I thought you put your kids' life over your own when you have kids. I thought there was a sense of responsibility there. And I'll be honest with you that I had to work on that. But as I worked on that, and my mentors believed in me, my wife didn't give up on me. And I'm so grateful that she did that. I'm so grateful that she now mentors hundreds of women across Orange County and surrounding areas, Nevada and things like that too. But we also are expanding our business across the country, soon to be across the world. And I believe it's because of who she is as a woman and her vision and her passion that makes me the man I am. There's no question about it. Help me welcome the beautiful Charity Munoz.
Right, yeah. Well, that was amazing. Oh my gosh. Do I have to hold that thing, or do you think you can pick up on me?
I'm going to try to clamp it for you.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thanks, babe. Cool. Perfect. Hello. There's just 3 topics I just wanted to talk about tonight that are really on my heart. I never write, so bear with me here. But I think it's just important to understand what we're so passionate about, and I think it'll just kind of help me and guide me on 3 things that I just are really dear to my heart and that I wanted to talk about for you guys. The first topic I wanted to talk to you guys about was just our relationship. You know, our relationship sucked 5 years ago. We had no sense of communication, and we would try to communicate, but it would be, tell me your feelings, and I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what feelings are. Like, what is that? Nobody's cared to talk to me about this. What are you talking about? And I was like, I'm just going to leave, because that's all that was modeled for me. My parents got divorced at 7, so I saw conflict, not conflict resolution. Mm-hmm. So I was like, peace out. That's easy for me. I'm going to leave, drive down PCH, ignore my phone, and I'll be back in a couple hours. Come back, and he's like, we need to talk. And I was like, what? Like, I'm better. Let's like kiss and make up, and we're fine. And he's like, no, we need to talk. Like, here's what I'm feeling. And he like can name all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And I was like, well, I'm good. And he's like, can you just like cry for me? And I was like, no, I'm good. Because I slowly like built up so many walls. I was like the wall of Jericho, like could not, I was not coming down, okay? And nothing was gonna like beat my drum. And we got married. I was very strong, very independent, very level-headed. And when we got married, I was like, hey, like I'm a corporate woman, and this is so sad to say, but when we got married, like he brought in the $40,000 of debt. I remember us having a conversation. He says, hey, we need to get on a game plan. And I'm like, no, you need to get on a game plan to pay off your debt. This girl's debt free because she's worked hard for that. And he's like, no, Trudy, we got married. We're like one. And I'm like, we'll consider that. Because I worked really hard. And it's so sad, but in my head, why I said that and I didn't want to agree to it was because I was thinking, well, just in case, like I want to have a savings just in case, which is so terrible to even think about, but that's what was modeled for me. I got modeled a divorced family. I didn't get modeled 2 parents who loved each other and showed that love and showed commitment to each other. Unfortunately, I love my parents to death, but I didn't have a model for me, right? So coming into a marriage, what do you expect? And so I had all these reservations, and you bring in all this stuff from your childhood into your adult life if you've never worked on it, and you don't know that it's there, but then all of a sudden you're like arguing, and you're like, where is this coming from? So that's where our relationship was 5 years ago. Sleeping alone, we didn't have to talk about feelings, and that was pretty much it. So good time, that should give you hope. That was us 5 years ago. Family, we were scared to death to have kids because of growing them up in the environment that I just talked about. I raised my brother primarily. My parents got divorced at 7. My mom became an extreme alcoholic and was bipolar, so those two don't really mix. And I mean medically bipolar, okay, not just like emotional. And my dad just kind of he's an amazing father, but just there's some connection issues there. And so had to raise my brother really, really quickly. And so I became very like standoffish to like, well, why would I even want to bring kids into this world? We're in debt. There's no hope of our future. Like I was just like hopeless. I was like, you're going to be working 80 hours a week, so I'm going to be the one primarily raising them. And I don't know if I want that. And then freedom, had no idea freedom even existed, you guys. Yep. We walked into a room like this 5 years ago. Our goals and dreams and aspirations were paying for organic avocados, okay? Like, we were like, if we could just like get extra guac at Chipotle, I'd be like, good. You're talking about freedom, like retiring from your day job. I was like, I didn't even know that existed. I'm like, I can't even fathom that right now. Now, being mentored by incredible couples like an Ari and Paige, Kevin and Andrea, and Kevin, Heidi, Cheryl, and Sean and Catherine Wachter, Mike and Rob and Carol, who are all financially independent, having them pour into our lives. Our relationship is night and day different. I mean, we just started to realize that you can't have a marriage that lasts on leftovers. It has to be fed daily or it's going to starve. It's just like your body. You know, like, what do you think a marriage is going to do? You have to feed it daily. You have to pour into one another. You have to know each other's love languages. You need to know each other's strengths. If you're in a relationship, just tip, you have a significant other to find the significance in that other, okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, I never knew that. And it's like mind-boggling because we go to school for 4 years to get a piece of paper for a degree. But then to get a marriage license, just go and walk into the court, sign something, and then you can get married. And it's like you don't have to study each other when you're going to be with each other for the rest of your life, right? That's the end goal of marriage, is to be committed to that person for life. And now I'm so blessed by our relationship because we've had incredible couples pouring into us and giving us marriage books and recommending me to learn how to have conflict resolution, to learn, maybe Trudy, you should stay in the home when you have an argument. Like, wow, really? That works? And talk about your feelings, like print out a feelings word list. What is that? I remember calling him my hero one day, and he just like lit up. He's like, I'm your hero. And I was like, yeah, babe, you are. And just how much our relationship started changing when we finally were filling the gaps for one another. We were being the roles that we were supposed to be in marriage. We were completing each other. We were making the vision better because I think what two can do is way better than what one can do. It was amazing. Yep. Family, oh my gosh, being able to be two free parents to two little boys is the most incredible blessing in the world. We are so blessed to be boys, and it's incredible to know that we get to wake up on the daily, like being able to make breakfast, and we get to choose like French toast, pancakes, waffles, what do you want? And he'll say pancakes, then we put him on the counter and he helps us make the pancakes, and if he spills all the eggs, we're like, whoa, whatever, we got all the time in the world. We're picking them up and we're making pancakes, and then we have a dance party normally, and then we're like, well, what do we want to do today? Well, let's go to the park, or let's hang out at grandparents' house, and we get to be there for every little moment. And then we come home, we all have nap time together, and then awesome. What we it's awesome. And it's so cool and powerful because I know that our son, especially our 2-year-old, but it's made a huge impact on him because when we put him in a playground at a park, when we're there with other kids his age, they're like throwing sand at him, and they're like, he like gets so confused. Just do that, like, let's just communicate. And then he'll just like hug him, or like every girl that he sees, he just goes up to him and says, pretty, like it's just the cutest things on the planet. He's a gentleman. He doesn't throw tantrums. We're constantly speaking out terrific twos, not terrible twos. And we don't let anybody speak that over us. We say it's terrific twos, not terrible twos. And my grandparents are like, oh, just watch. And I'm like, no, don't ever speak that again, or they're not coming over. And it's terrific twos. And we go over there, and they like completely changed my grandparents' life. They are so much more joyful and happy because of the joy that they bring to our grandparents. They're like, I cannot believe the love that these two kids have inside of them. They're the most peaceful. My 2-year-old son is crying. We just gently talk to him and go, hey, bud, like, just communicate. Talk to me, like, what's going on? And it's because we have the time to. We have the energy to. If we worked a dumb job, I'd be too tired to say, hey, buddy, actually, what's going on? Instead, I'd be like, Clinton, you do it, or here, putting on Elmo again, it's like, I gotta get dinner ready, and da-da-da. It's like, if we continue living the lifestyle that we would have been living, first of all, our kids go to bed Clinton goes to bed at 9. He sleeps about 12 and a half hours and takes a 2-hour nap every single day, which is awesome. But it's amazing because he gets the proper sleep, proper nutrition, and we communicate to him on a daily basis. He gets the things that he needs for his development. And so we're there for him. If we had a job, you guys, we'd be waking up, let's say, Luke, I'd hate whoever did this to us, but we woke up tomorrow, we had jobs. And wake up, and we had a job, and we're waking up our kids, and they're like, what is going on, like, what? And then we're like throwing bars at each other, and we're not making pancakes, and we're putting on clothes on them really quick, and then I'm putting them in the car, and I'm rushing over to daycare, I'm dropping them off, and then they're all day with random people, and then I go to work, he goes to work, I pick him up, because I probably get off work earlier, pick up the 2 boys. They're like, mommy. I'm like, I need to make dinner for your father because he's probably going to be starving when he comes home. I'm making dinner, cooking, tired, exhausted. Our kids are pulling on my leg, wanting my attention. I'm like making dinner. I'm like, hold on, kid. Like, I'm putting on a show again. And then Clinton comes home at 8 o'clock. The boys go to bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. Clinton gets to spend 30 minutes to an hour, maybe max, with our kids. And our kids then go to bed. Our kids would be freaking like, what just happened? We were living a great life. Like, we don't see you, we are not communicating. I just watched 12 hours of TV and social media. Seriously. Nobody's giving me the time and attention. I didn't get my proper snacks. We didn't make pancakes. I didn't have my nap. People were throwing things at me, biting me, and it's because they don't have the proper attention from their kids or from their parents. Yeah. And I'm so blessed that we have an incredible life, and because it's amazing. I mean, I can't even comprehend what we have, and what we get so passionate about is father power. Because brothers compete with each other, but fathers complete each other. They complete the whole family unit. And I think we're living in such a society where we don't have father power in the home anymore. And that's what's lacking, I think, in our society. That's why I think a lot of things are happening that shouldn't really be happening, is because people have lost sight of who they are because they're not being told by their mom and dad that they are worth something, that they're valued and cared for and seen. I heard a woman talk about how this young girl, all they talked about to her was that she's beautiful, that she's valued, that she's cared for, that she's worthy, that she's a princess in their eyes, that she's going somewhere. And when she went to school, preschool, I guess a kid like pulled her aside and was like, hey, I just want to let you know you're ugly. And she like stopped for a second. And then she looked at the boy and she said, no, I'm not, because my dad tells me I'm beautiful, I am valued, I am worthy, I am seen, I am cared for, I'm going places, and I'm a princess. And she walked away. That's because there was a man in the household that led her and put that inside of her mind. Did you realize the impact of what father power, what you can do to your children? I mean, you guys, father power is so lacking in our society, and that's what I think is going to make a world's difference. The reason why half the people or half the kids in juvenile, like juvie, are because of a lack of father power. Literally half of the kids in juvie are there because the stats are they did not have a father in their household because it was lacking. We need more men becoming men. We are raising in our home, not boys, we're raising men. And it's because that man decided to pursue my next thing is freedom. You're going to have a choice to either pursue popularity or purpose. And my husband decided to choose purpose. And I'm so grateful that he chose not status, because our society right now is making it so popular to fantasize about status, because we're so on social media and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook, and we are just like constantly wanting the likes and constantly wanting just all fake. I mean, it's 2 seconds of a fantasy versus 2 seconds, what the reality actually looks like, and we're comparing ourselves to that life. And I'm so passionate now about living a life of purpose, and our purpose now is setting captives free. For a Jordan and Cheryl Vansbro, because now they get to pour into their relationship. Now they get to have the time and the energy to invest into each other and their relationship like no other couple can. There's a reason, the reason why I think there's a 70% divorce rate is because you're not spending time with them. Yeah. And then the guy's complaining about how they're not having enough sex. Well, get rid of her job. Fire. Okay? She's been working. She's taking care of kids. You want to have sex more? We'll both be free and you'll have sex time, okay? can't stop having babies. Our family, our now purpose is to set families to be a family unit, to have not only dinner around the dinner table, because that's lacking even these days, but having breakfast, lunch, and dinner around the table and being able to invest there for an hour if they want to and talk about purposeful, meaningful things that they are seeing out there on a daily, because our world's nuts and we want to be the ones teaching them rather than them finding out otherwise. And then freedom, we are so passionate about helping other people smash their alarm clock like we did say with Cheryl. Today was an amazing, amazing day. It warmed our hearts. It was incredible. We are so blessed by you two. Thank you guys for doing what you do. And we just love you guys so much. And I love you, babe. I'm going to have you come back up here and share some awesome business details. I know I'm going to go.
I'm glad this is being translated into Chinese because that was phenomenal. So, great job, Charity. Just kidding. Someday, that'd be awesome. I can't wait. I don't know if that's going to make sense in cultural differences, but I hope it does. They're like, what does that mean, that word? I'm like, let's not go there. But man, how you guys doing? You guys still in one piece? Yeah. You guys okay? You're still hanging out? It's just awesome, man. No one's left yet. Oh, great. Just kidding. So, fired up, man. But I want to have some money. Anybody okay with that? Anybody like want to make more money than they're making right now? Is that like okay? That's so funny. When we talk about money opportunity, I find that most people get silent. It's incredible. I talk about like mentorship, and I was like, yes, being men, being women, and then money's like, and I don't know why that is. Like, I think most of you read the book because you don't have any money. Is that right? Most of you, are you looking for more? You didn't think, I could use me being a better person. No, you were like, let me consult my bank account. Yes, opportunity is good. It is saying, my new alert from Bank of America, find other opportunities, right? It's incredible when you think about that. So I want to dive into how to make some money, which is awesome. So one of the ways we make money is by leveraging a system that has been proven for 60 years. Anybody heard in here of the Amway Corporation? Anybody heard of Amway before? A couple of you? Yeah, right on. Awesome. Okay, a few of you. I had, because my parents had tried to leverage the business before they had me. And they were unsuccessful at leveraging it. I want to say as a precursor, almost a disclosure, is that, I believe Amway is kind of, they're amazing, but I believe that a baseball bat, there's really like one way to hold it. That's right. You can be the most incredibly crafted specimen, but you hold that thing upside down and you have a pitcher mile-an-hour fastball, good luck hitting that ball out of the park with an upside-down baseball bat. Doesn't matter how incredible it is. And so with that being said, I believe that Amway, that a lot of people are trying to hold this company and leverage it in different ways, and I've really seen one way it work, and that is the worldwide dream builder way of holding the Amway baseball bat, leveraging the Amway Corporation. There are 44 different systems that compete with worldwide. And a lot of them teach you to go door to door, to knock on your neighbor's doors, sell this stuff, like that, to leverage your family and friends, have product parties, to go and do social media marketing, all this kind of stuff. And if you try to look up what we do online, that's what people think we do. I guarantee the people that wrote those blogs never even came to a talk like this. They never read the book you've read. They've never learned. They've never met my wife and I. They never met people that do it the worldwide way, but all they do is type in Amway. And there are a lot of ways to leverage the Amway Corporation. And I want to be very clear because I know that we live in a time where if you don't know about something and you want to learn about it, you go where? Google, right? And I want to be very clear because I think Google has some incredible things about it, but I also believe if you want to actually learn how to create a B lifestyle, you don't learn about B lifestyles and how to get there from the internet. This sounds like common sense. You're like, oh, that's true, because if you were able to do that, you've all had the internet since it came out, and you're still broke. You know what I mean? I know this, I know what to type into Google. That's my problem the whole time. I just didn't know how to search it right. No, you're not going to learn how to become a bee unless you're mentored by bees. And what I found is that people come to me afterwards saying, oh, I looked it up online and I'm no longer interested. And I'm like, what part are you no longer interested in? Well, the opportunity. And I said, well, hold on a minute. Now you're talking about the what again? Because we met a week ago and you said you were very interested in being debt-free, becoming a better person, being mentored, being coached. You were very serious about cash flow, about having to be able to travel, owning a home, all that kind of stuff. What changed? And they said, well, I read some stuff online and the process is no longer something I want to do. And because because they don't change it, because they're not open. But sometimes I say, well, what did you read online? And as they talk, they communicate to me that they've read some blogs online that say that we sell things door to door and we sell products and we're pushy and it's recruit, it's churn and burn. And I can say all day long that we don't do that stuff, but if they don't actually learn about it, they'll never believe that. So I want you to realize that I think Google is incredible. It's an incredible platform for a lot of things, but not for learning how to become a bee. The Amway Corporation is in 60 years in business. They're in over 110 countries and territories. They are being leveraged by some of the biggest businesses in the world. In fact, companies that are honored to work with Amway are Apple, Nike, Best Buy, Forever 21, Microsoft, Bloomingdale's, Target, Starbucks, Under Armour. The list goes on and on of companies that are very credible. How many of you here have an Apple product? Do you think that if Apple and the leadership in Apple was going to leverage the Amway business model, they would do their due diligence to find out whether or not it was a pyramid or a scam or it was going to work? Before they signed multi-million-dollar contracts saying we're going to leverage the Amway Corporation? Do you think they Googled it? Their legal team said, well, let's consult Google. No, they probably looked at their finances. They looked at their longevity. They looked at their debt. They looked at their market share. They looked at all these things. So don't be an idiot and let Google decide your future for you. I'm just saying it right now because I mean, too many good people that come in this room and they get excited and they don't know where to go. What I found is that this opportunity is incredible and you learn a little bit about this and you get excited. And that's happened to me. I walked out of this room 5 years ago, I couldn't sleep. I was up at night like pacing. I was trying to make sense of this document they gave me that broke down the compensation plan, and it was like Chinese to me, and I could not get it. And they were like, I don't get it, but I was excited. I knew it worked because there was all these people doing it. Tens of thousands of people are financially independent right now because of the Amway Corporation. The Amway business model has been able to help more people achieve the millionaire status than any company in America. Because it's incredible. Like Amazon is awesome, but they haven't helped anybody become millionaires, especially the people that work there. You know what I mean? And it's incredible when you think about the difference of the business model. But what I want to say found is that you need to be very careful who you talk to about this as you learn about it. When you know all about it and you get the facts, you understand the business model, you're going to be a genius. You can talk to anybody you want. But in this learning phase, it's tough. Because what I found is that you have this dream, after meeting people have dreams, and you have this little dove. And it's so cute. It's like, ooh, it's so cute. It's perfect. And it's your dream, and your dream is now back alive, and it's in your heart, and you're so excited. And what I've realized, you got to be careful where you go with your dream. You can't just share your dream with anybody, because there are things called dream stealers out there, people who've lost their dream. And what I've realized is that when you share your dream with people that don't have a dream, they just get mad at you having a dream. They have nothing, and you have something. This cute little dove. And so they make it their job when you go, look at this, and you go, they go, look at this, boom.
Oh my God.
And I know in Fresno that would fly, but in Orange County, you're like, oh my God. Does that really happen? Did they kill? No, it wasn't an animal. It was an analogy. But what I want to say is that that's what people do. And they shoot it on your dream, and all of a sudden you have this puff of smoke, like poof. And I want you to be aware of that. Because what you should do is protect it and cuddle it, pet it. No, I mean, but just be aware that you may not be mature enough to understand the difference of taking advice from somebody who has fruit on the tree versus taking advice from somebody that you've always taken advice from because you have emotional. The Amway business model is insanely simple. Blows my mind. How it works is they are an umbrella company who gives people the ability to leverage their business and build an asset 3 different ways. We make money and save money in 3 different ways. The first one is called personal use. The second one is called customer use. The third one is called duplication. How this works, folks, is that there are stores out there all day long that take your money and don't give you a profit. You agree? You shop at Walmart, Costco, Target, wherever you go, you spend money and they have a profit margin. How much of that margin do you make? None. Doesn't work that way. You get a product or service, but they get all the profit. And so that's why this doesn't work, because you constantly enable them to be B's and you remain an E, right? So our business model was such that it goes, hey, why don't you take that money you make at your job and invest it in products and stores that you have partnerships with. Your stores. Amway's kind of like a mall, and they have all the different stores you shop in, you build an asset by shopping there. That's called personal use. There's a thing called PV, let me get into a minute. Your minimum overhead requirement is $400. $400 a month enables you to be in business. Guys, you got to start thinking like a bee. I'm going to talk to you like an entrepreneur tonight. I'm assuming you want to own your own business. You don't want to be a job person, so start thinking like one, please. Show me a business you can own where in 2 to 5 years you don't need a job anymore and it costs you $400 a month to own that business. It doesn't. My friends are kiosk owners in a mall. And I'd go there, we build a friendship over time, and I'd finally say, hey man, how much does it cost this thing? This like covers and the tempered glass, how much does it cost? He goes, well, I'll tell you. You want to own it? No, I have no interest in owning one. I'm just curious. From one entrepreneur to another. He goes, oh, sure, I'll tell you. He goes, well, the products line's like the cheapest thing. It's like 10, 20 grand a year. The space to lease this thing is like $3 grand a month. $3 grand a year and employed people if I don't want to work here myself. So all in all, it's about 100 grand with all the other stuff and the licenses and the relationships, 100 grand to 150 grand to own the kiosk. That's a kiosk in a mall with phone covers. Yep. That's not your restaurant. That's not your meal truck. Most food trucks, for $400 a month, you own a business. And it's $4,800 over the course of a year. That's under $5 grand a year to own a business. That's absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy. And the fact is, here's the biggest dilemma E's have, is that we use that money not to pay for rent, not to pay for a lease, not to buy products that we sell to people. Well, we don't really buy any of that stuff with $400. So it's very different than your traditional business model. I'm not paying for employed people for $400 a month. All I'm buying is stuff that I'm consuming. I'm basically shopping. And whoever knows me knows this guy can shop. My wife is a saver in the relationship. I'm the guy who gets money right away, because I didn't grow up with a lot, right? I grew up kind of like lower middle class. The minute I get money, I'm like, yeah! And my wife's like, no! Right? And that's just the truth of who we are as people. But I say that because how this works is that we realize that we just get to buy stuff from our product line. So we have a few different product lines, which is really cool. We have one called a whole home line, which is like organic cleaners and laundry soap and dish detergent and hand soap and all the stuff you need for your home. Then we have a line of vitamins, which is leveraged by the company called the Nutrilite Company, which is based in Buena Park, the only company that owns certified organic farmland and own the operating systems that put those into vitamins, which is pretty cool. They are the #1 vitamin company in the world, the first ones in the world to ever create the multivitamin. You can go tour their facility for free in Buena Park. They are happy to show you all the behind-the-scenes stuff of what they do and how it works. The product line competes with all the vitamins at Mother's Market and Sprouts, all that cool stuff, which is awesome. That's a $1 billion industry, by the way. Cool to leverage for a business for $400 a month. You also own a line of makeup called Artistry, the top 5 prestige brand in the world, right? Competes with Estee Lauder, Lancome, Shiseido, Clinique, and Artistry. I don't know how I know those. I just heard it enough, and they just somehow stuck in my brain. I've never used it in my life. If guys use it, that's cool. I'm not going to judge you. You can use it all you want. You'll get more PV. But home vitamins and makeup line, you'll never catch my wife using MAC makeup. Why? Because there's no trust in MAC makeup. There's no freedom in MAC makeup. You can use whatever you want, Estee Lauder or Lancome, Shiseido, and that's great. Your face might look awesome, but your face looks awesome in a cubicle. And my wife wanted a great-looking face on the beach, and I thought that works for me, right? And so home vitamins make. We also have a whole line of workout things with a brand called XS, and XS has pre-workout and post-workouts and protein shakes and vitamins for endurance, all this cool stuff. They also have line of energy drinks called XS, every flavor you can imagine. I love their energy drinks. I only had 12 before I came in here. You probably could tell. Just kidding, I only had 11. Right, so home vitamins make. Then snacks. So a whole line called Body Key. That's how well I know my product line. And Body Key is like bars and some different shakes and snacks. We have tortilla chips and protein crisps and popcorn and all this cool stuff. The hardest thing for me to fathom was I went, Ari, so you're telling me I'm going to own a business and I'm going to eat it. I'm going to spend money on my overhead, but then I eat the overhead. I don't know about this. He said, I know if you did, you would already be successful. Because anybody should get this if they have a brain. And I went, oh, that sounds pretty cool. So now what we do is I spend money every month at things I'm going to eat. We have no inventory. I don't have a storage unit shed somewhere. We eat everything and drink everything we buy every month. In fact, most months we run out of stuff before we run out of month. And I'm frustrated that we didn't buy more. And that's me being the spender. My wife's like, well, babe, we have to be on some kind of a budget, even though it's our own stuff, right? And so we spend literally so much money on our own store. That is laughable compared to what my wife and I spend there. But here's the deal: $400 a month gets you 100 PV. My wife and I, even from the very first month in business, we had a lot more to work with. We did our budget. We realized that between miscellaneous, entertainment, and eating out, we spent easily $1,000 a month. So we took $800 of that money and we put it towards our asset. Why? Because the more you invest, the more you're going to get a return. It's a higher ROI on investment. So 200 PV. Something we need in this business is we do need to do a little bit of sales. Like every business. I know here's a point, I go, oh, I'm out. Well, then you're out of entrepreneurship. Yeah. You cannot own a business without selling something. People go, well, is there sales involved? I go, well, do you want to own a business? Well, I don't know. Is there sales involved? I don't. Do you want to own a business? Well, I want to own a business that has no sales. No, you want to be employed. Yes. Really? Yeah. And you don't want to work in sales at your business because even the business you work at sells something. Yeah. The coolest part of our business, folks, is that the overhead of sales is very small. It's very minimal. You need what's called 50 PV of client sales a month to be a legit business, to get tax write-offs, to make income, to get bonuses, to be a part and a player in the compensation plan. And $200 a month of customer sales equates to 50 PV. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife and I sat down with our grandparents and my parents and her parents. And out of those three people, or three couples, mine didn't choose to become customers. They were negative. Because they said, Amway's not going to work for you. So they didn't support us. I went, okay, that's okay, we'll find other people. Well, her grandma and her mom supported us. And every single month, each one of them almost has done that. Why? Because the average Costco membership person, the average Costco member, spends $300 per trip to Costco. And they go twice a month. $600 a month to Costco for most members. Yeah. So you can imagine if we said, Grandma, could you take maybe a third of that and move it into a product line that's the same thing you're already buying? See, we didn't sell them on stuff they weren't already buying. We didn't sell them a vacuum when they had a vacuum, like a Kirby vacuum salesperson. We said, guys, can you replace what you're already buying at the store that you already shop at? So they looked at the product line of 450 plus products that Amway had to work with, and they found probably 10 that they liked. They didn't buy everything in the store. They bought 10 that they were already buying from other stores like Costco, Target, Walmart, et cetera, et cetera. And the business works. So you don't need to go out and find 100 customers. My wife and I have no jobs, and we have 2 customers. When I tell people that, they're like, wow, how much do those customers spend? Is your customer China? You know what I mean? Right? And I'm like, no, my customers are grandparents, and if my customers spend $100 each, my wife and I would sleep. We were talking, and they go, I don't get it. And I go, I know. It's kind of mind-blowing. Super simple, but it does not make sense to somebody who doesn't understand this business model. Tonight you might not even get this talk, but you might have to learn about it again. It took me seeing this like 3 times where I went, oh! 2 customers. It doesn't make sense. I'm just kind of slow. I'm not the sharpest marble out there. My wife and I went above and beyond that and did $400 a month of sales to equal 100 PV, so we had a buffer. Because we didn't want to not partake in the compensation plan if that dipped. You don't need to do that. You don't get kicked out of Amway, but you need to partake in the compensation plan. You have to do at least 150 PV. So why not do it more than that just to make sure you're okay? Especially if your freedom relies on it. Just makes sense. So for my wife and I, we did this. Here's the deal, guys. You are going to duplicate what you do, not what you teach. And this business is the power of duplication. What happens is you see the business model, you get excited, and you realize that people are out there looking. Yeah. Whether you believe it or not, it's working like crazy. There are hundreds of thousands of people right now partaking in the Amway business model in North America. Hundreds of thousands of people. And what's incredible is that there are more and more people that are looking every single day. Today alone, I met 3 people who are looking for more opportunity. Today, by living my life. One was a restaurants, and one was while I was walking in a parking lot. A guy was like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. And he went, can I do that? I said, I don't know, give me your number. He's like, okay. You know what I mean? It was that simple. People are looking. We live in Orange County. Everyone's broke and busted. And what's incredible is I found out that more people a lot of people want to make more money than they're currently making. So here's basically how the business model works. I'm going to draw this out. I hope you got that part, but I got to have some room here. Basically what happens is that you identify people that want to win with this process. The very same process you're going through as a guest is the process you will use to vet people. The process does the work for you. Just plug them in. It's like someone doing the test for the Air Force. Here's the test. If you don't pass this test, you don't make it. You don't earn an offer. It's very simple. And people all the time will show you they're worth your time. They won't just tell you it. I tell people, man, your actions speak way louder than your words. Your words say one thing, but your actions tell me the truth every single time. So my wife and I took people through the process, and what happens is that it is definitely achievable to say that in the next 3 to 6 months, you identify 6 people that are looking for an opportunity. There's probably going to be 1 or 2 that really get it. And those people are going to start branching off with people. Let's say they have their 6 and they have their 6. What happens here is that you work with 6 more people that you meet or you know. Jordan and Cheryl are an incredible example of us starting somebody in business and them saying, we don't know anybody. I thought these network marketing opportunities are always based off people you know. We said, no, not this one. And that's pretty incredible. And they built this entire business off people they don't know. People that are now some of their best friends in life. So ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to have a huge family. My dad is one of 11. It is awesome. I meet new people every family get together. I'm like, how long have you been here? I've been here for 28 years, cuz. Oh, wow, we were cousins. It's awesome. We can't even have our parties at homes, they're in parks. That's why we have those meetings in parks. We get big blow-up houses. I'm not going to go there right now. I'm going to stop myself while I'm not ahead. But I meet new people every time. And so this business, you don't need to know people. It's incredible how we teach you how to identify somebody who's looking very early on. And most people that you would extend an offer to are eager and they are chomping at the bit for an opportunity. You don't need to be a sales guy. If you're a sales guy, you might have a hard time because you're going to walk in here and try to sell this thing. That's not what we do. No. How many of you that are entrepreneurs in this room felt like you were sold an opportunity to get involved here? There's not one hand up. How many of you would say you earned this opportunity by showing somebody else that you were responsible? That's all it takes. You earn that. You earn that time of somebody else. You identify 6 more people, and what happens is they keep going. Out of those 4, out of those 12, you probably have 2 more people that do it. And they work with their 6. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is in about 18 months, you're going to identify about 24 businesses. And if you have modeled that 300 PV standard I broke down earlier, 24 times 300 equals 7,500 PV plus your personal circle. And that right there is a $55,000 a year income. Who would like to make about $5,000 more a month in the next 18 to 24 months? Show up some hands. Be pretty awesome. That's by working this business a couple hours a day. If you can build your boss's dream for 8 hours a day, can you build your own dream for 2?
Yes.
Yeah. What happens then is you equip people to do the same thing. This is called a platinum in business. Once you go platinum, you now are able to teach other people how to go platinum. Why? Because you've done it. That's how you go to the MBA. If you made the MBA, can you teach people how to go to the MBA? Yeah, you've done it. You know how to network. You know how to meet people, all that kind of stuff. This business, same thing. Once you achieve a level of success, you can then teach people how to achieve the same level of success. Jordan and Cheryl are more than equipped to give this talk tonight. They asked us if we would, and we felt so honored. I said, absolutely. We would be stoked out of our minds to give the talk tonight. But they give talks just like this, way better than this one, most nights of the week. And they are killing it right now. It is so awesome to see many people in this room rising up and earning that time for Jordan and Cheryl to show up in your place, in your home, twice a month doing what's called a board plan. Very creative name, a business plan on a whiteboard. What happens then is you teach other people how to go platinum. And it is the coolest, most awesome thing in the world to pass on leadership. It's not just you creating, but you creating something and then being able to teach somebody else how to create that same success. That is an incredible feeling. And that is this couple right here in our business. Right now, they are the only ones in our business who've done that. which is really, really awesome because a lot of people are pissed off that is a statement. And they are just mad that they're the only ones, and they are chomping at the bit, and they are working very hard. So I can say them and somebody else. But there is no somebody else yet. So earn that, right? Which is awesome because you work hard to do that. But Jordan and Cheryl have been that couple in our business that's been that poster child, that they've been that billboard we can point to, and they've worked really, really, really hard. This business is not achieved without hard work and dedication. And they've worked so hard. And what happens is once you start knowing how to break off people as platinum, you can then help other people go platinum. When you help 3 people go platinum, they are very happy and they don't look distorted like my happy faces. But when you help people go platinum, your income grows. You are compensated in this business for helping other people become compensated for their work. That is amazing. I remember looking at Ari going, so you're telling me you're not going to make any more money unless you help me make more money? He's like, pretty much. I was like, well, then get to it. That is so cool. It's so awesome. That you only make money if you help others make money. If the people you are mentoring don't make any money, first of all, you're not mentoring them. But if they're not making any income, you're not going to make any income. They have to be profitable. That is so cool. And when you help 3 couples or singles create success in this arena and they make at least 55 grand a year, you are now what's called an emerald. And the average emerald, according to the worldwide, or the Amway brochure here, is that you are, the average emerald who has 3 platinums makes $123,000 a year. The highest paid income is $790,000. Now again, this is the compensation for all 44 different development groups within Amway. Within worldwide, I know that the average emerald is making $300,000 plus, which is pretty stinking awesome. My mentors are Ari and Paige. They are 28 years old and they are making that kind of income. Would anybody here like to be under 30, making about 25,000, 30 grand a month, working 2 hours a day? Let's see some hands up in her. Right? Who wouldn't want that? The craziest part is that the 5-year goal is to help 3 more people do it. To identify people in your business that also want to win, and you help 3 more people smile because they don't have jobs anymore. And the income for that is a diamond, and a founder's diamond. The average income for Amway is $561,000 a year. The highest paid diamond is $2.8 million. Again, in the system of world I dream of, is incredible. Most people that are going diamond are making $1 million a year. That is $83,000 a month. What kind of dreams could you achieve with $83,000 a month? Ladies, money doesn't make you happy. But the way we make money is incredible. And making money and not having to sacrifice the things that are most important for an income is incredible. Being able to spend my day with my wife and my 2 boys here at night after they're already in bed. I'm like, didn't miss much. Missing a Netflix show. I don't watch Netflix, so I'm really not missing anything. To be able to sow values and help people and sow belief into people is an incredible way to make an income. And I can guarantee that my wife and I will be doing this for the rest of our life. I'll probably die with a marker in my hand. Because I believe in what this opportunity is doing all across America and all across the world. An income like that would absolutely change your life. But I believe that when you achieve that kind of income, the process it takes to get there is a phrase. And it says, the true reward for a person's pursuit to excellence is not what they get from it, but who they become through it. And I guarantee that through this process of mentorship, through the process of you changing how you think, how you make decisions, the people you associate with, the things you do on the daily, that now instill good habits in your life, and they determine where you're going to go. They will absolutely change everything about your life. This income is incredible, but it is a byproduct to who you become in this opportunity. We're going to have something very special tonight. Cheryl got to smash her alarm clock. Because you're coming up with me. Cheryl got to smash her alarm clock in front of her dental office at 9:30 a.m., which was absolutely epic. There'll be a video being produced next week or so, which I cannot wait to see. But we thought if we could do it there, why not just do it here again for you guys? What do you guys think about that? This symbolizes so much. You guys, if we have some crew, you guys can start moving this stuff out of the way. That'd be awesome. Thank you, whoever wants to do that. You are now the crew, right? Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. but what I want to talk about is that that this is so cool, because what happens here is that you get to visualize what it looks like when somebody leaves their job for the rest of their life. Cheryl will never again trade time for money. Cheryl will never again wake up to an alarm clock and have to go to work. Cheryl will never again have to be told what to do in the terms of a job. She will never again send a work email. Thanks, Albert. She will never have to wake up and go to her. She no longer ever again will be told what she's worth based off of a job. She now gets to live a life that is worth living and spend every minute of the day doing what she wants to do, not what she has to do to make an income.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cheryl. Take it away.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna put this. So this really means a lot to me because this is the cape I wore on my Freedom Day, April 4th, 3 years ago. So she is going to be wearing the same cape that I wore 3 years ago. So let's put this on you. You're welcome. And then we also just wanted to give you a couple cupcakes. Don't miss. Oh my God.
Oh, those
There's
will be
one
there.
missing because of our son. That's okay. And then I created a little memory book. There's only like 1 or 2 pictures on here from today, but I was like, I gotta get a couple pictures on this. So it's just a memory book, just from the couple years that we've been together, all of our memories from the first time that we met. So I want to
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
I think the coolest thing about this day is that she already had a Freedom Day at her job, you know, and the fact that she now wanted to be able to do this with you guys one more time, if you're in the room, is really, really special, and I think that is awesome. And because where in the world do you see people retiring at nonetheless 31, 24 years old? I mean, 31's incredible.
That's awesome.
Incredible. And we just could not be more proud of you guys. Jordan and Cheryl, we love you guys so much. You guys, you need freedom. You need to understand what it's like and what it'll do for your life, because it's totally going to add years to your life. The non-stress, the peace of mind, the joy that you wake up to every single day is amazing. And the fact that we now get to bless other people to have that same lifestyle, to be able to even understand the life that we have every single day is a blessing to us so much. So we're going to watch Cheryl smash her alarm clock. It's going to be awesome.
I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous because for those of you who were here this morning, know that I missed the first time, but then I awesome the next 5 times. But now I have a smaller alarm clock and a heavier thing. So
This is intense. This is the alarm.
Yes.
Wow.
it's heavy. He thinks
so
it's the
heavy.
same.
No,
it's
it's
not
heavy.
the same.
Well, that's crazy.
Want to do it together?
And it's all you, baby.
Okay.
You know, she's smashing this alarm clock, and it means so much more than an alarm clock.
Yeah.
It means breaking chains that were in their family, you know, that don't have to exist anymore. Being able to be full-time parents, you know, and being able to be full-time just husband and wife, and being able to be there for people. Do when you want to do it with who you want to do it with.
Yeah.
And I'm just so stinking proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Cheryl Van Sprue. From one free wife to another, you have earned your freedom.
Freedom! You got it, baby. You got it. Oh, you got it.
I have. This was what bodybuilding was for. Ready? 1. Can we get you guys to count down? Yeah.
3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah! Yeah!
guys, so we just want to tell these guys.
Why do I do this?
We are so grateful for everything they've done. They've worked so hard, and their dedication to excellence has obviously proven itself. Their dedication to you has obviously proven itself. And I know that this is just a small kind of like mark on where they want to go in their life. They become close to visualizing where they're going with their life. They are going to be impacting thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people. And in only a matter of 2 years. Like we are so So let's give Jordan and Cheryl an incredible welcome.
Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go first. I'll sit down.
No, stay up here with me.
Okay.
So I can brag about you.
Got a callus from that.
Oh man, well first and foremost, I wanted to say thank you so much, Clinton and Charity, for taking the time, because even though your boys are asleep, the time you're taking right now is time away from the very thing that you said you valued the most, which is your relationship, right? You guys could be off, you could be dating each other, you could be, spending time on the beach, you could be doing whatever, and you're here tonight serving us and serving our incredible team, adding value and investing into us when you don't have to anymore. And we're so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. And I'm going to talk first because I want the beautiful woman of the hour to really share her heart with you guys. But I just hope that I can impart anything on you. Like the entrepreneurs who are in the room, obviously we know you guys very intimately. Those of you who maybe have just earned offers into business and we haven't gotten to build that close of a relationship yet. I hope that you guys can maybe just visualize who we were 4.5 years ago, right? So I guess I could just walk you back because for me, we came to Southern California because my whole life I was told to pursue your passion. And I grew up a little skate rat kid, hopping fences, getting chased by cops. And, that was my life because I grew up and from the time I was 7 years old, I went to Big Five and I was like, a skateboard looks cool, I'll ride that thing. And then I started hanging around other people who skateboarded and I did that and that's where I invested my time. So I was like, hey, this is pretty fun, right? And I wanted to work in that because I was like, well, if I like it so much, I'll probably like doing it for a job. Yep. And I moved down to Southern California and realized that, I didn't really like sitting in 3.5 hours of commuting traffic every day. So I was like, how do they name the freeways down here? I was like, 405. And someone's like, well, you spend 4 or 5 hours on it, depending like which direction you're going at what time of day. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I started realizing that I was passionate about the action sports industry and working that, but I wasn't really passionate about spending 12 days in the office. I wasn't really passionate about getting looked over for raises and promotions. Being laid off after 15 months of hard work, being dangled a carrot in front of my face saying, hey, we really like you. We really like how you're adding value to this organization. You're killing it for us, but we can't pay you more. But just give us some time. Give us some time. We'll work something out for you. And then handful of months later, nothing. Handful of months later, company shut down. Yeah. And there's people who do that, guys, and I'm thankful that that was only a year of my life I invested. But there's people like her father who worked 30 years for the same company to become a chief technical officer so that at age 60, they could say, oh, we got to let you go. Mm-hmm. You're too old. We pay you way too damn much. Mm-hmm. And we can hire someone a third of your age and pay them a third of what we pay you to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think they cared about what the conversation was he had to have with his family after that? Do you think the CEO said, here, let me walk you through how you can break the news to the family. Let me help you find another gig that will pay you more money than we were able to pay you. And actually that can give you more time back in your life so you can spend more time with your family rather than the last 30 years having you sacrifice 100. Guys, this is the most incredible opportunity out there. Yeah. Because yes, are we going to show you how to make money? Yes, absolutely. I hope you're here wanting to learn about that, like Clinton said. But more importantly, we're going to show you how to lead a successful life. And that's what Clinton and Charity have modeled for us since day one. We came into this opportunity, and because we spent so much time apart from each other, we were like, yeah, we probably won't ever get married. Mm-hmm. Why would we? We don't see each other ever. Yeah. Let's just be roommates, right? With tax benefits and other benefits, right? Like Clinton mentioned. We're like, yeah, that's cool, that's fine. Like because the higher we climb up in our corporate ladders anyways, the further we're going to become apart from each other. So why tie the knot if the knot's just going to be loose, right? And it was just crazy because everyone else around us, that was okay with. It was cool to just date people for live together and be like, oh, no, we're not married. We've been together for like 20 years though. I'm like, man, that sucks. 20 years and he's scared to put a ring on it, right? Oh, that's probably because most men, they want to be able to just be untethered and unattached, commitments, which is why we have the issues that Charity talked about today. And the fact that we had someone for free invest time into us to learn about a different way of not only making money, but living our life. Guys, no one else out there in our life was helping us do that, right? So we're grateful because now we went from like being like $35,000, $40,000 in debt, like Clint and Charity said, to paying that off in about a year, right? To have a point in our life where we have no debt. To have a point in our life where we have more money in the bank than we could have ever imagined, coming from a point where she had $1 in her bank account. One. Like, we keep the screenshot because we're like, we always need to remember where we came from. Like, we need to remember, like, we are not anything. We come from humble beginnings. And it serves as a constant reminder that there's so many other people out there like us who are living on the verge of bankruptcy. But not just in our bank accounts, in every area of our life. We were going bankrupt. And they rocked our world so hard, man. And they said, if you show up, we'll show up. If you commit to yourself and learn and grow yourself and grow your mindset, grow your capacity and honor a partnership, we will never fail to show up. And they said, I don't care if you have results or if you don't have results, I just care that you're focusing on growing you. And everything from our life then and there has become easy. Because like they said, we started to filter decisions through our values instead of through our comfort zones. We started to filter decisions through what was right and what our responsibilities were, not what our privileges were. And paying the price became something that was so incredibly awesome. Because not everyone's going to build a 2% lifestyle. And like Clinton said, it's not the fact that we're going to get cool things, we're going to have incredible cash flow, we're going to have homes or whatever that is. The fact is that we're going to become better people through that journey. And what you're seeing in front of you is probably one of the most incredible examples of becoming.
Come on.
My wife is amazing. And she is more a part of why I am the man that I am today than anything else outside of mentorship, of course, and our relationship and our faith. But you don't have to have that. But I'm telling you, if you're a man in the room, I hope that you're having conversations with your significant other about whether or not you want the same things. Because we've been on the same page. I don't know how it happened. We never really communicated about it because we were like those, right? And that was probably because I was stoned more of the time when she tried to communicate with me. I was like, what? You know? Yeah. She probably knew that. I'm sure she probably knew that. And if she didn't, that's not who I am anymore, so it's all good. Yeah. She'll hear it on a CD one day regardless, so better she hears it in person. And what's crazy from all of that, again, she saw me through all that. She saw me change. She saw me become a better man. She saw me light up with a vision. And like I said, we've just been on the same page since day one. And I tell this to a lot of our leaders and entrepreneurs that I wanted to go out there and I wanted to be the king of our family. I wanted to go out there, and you men, you have that desire and drive that's been implanted in you to fight for your family, to go out and do battle, to take that responsibility to put on the armor and say, I'm going to build my family's kingdom. But you know what? Most women, especially in Orange County, if the husband does that, they're like, you know what? I'm good. My husband owns his own business. He works 80 hours a week, but you know what? I'm cool because I got a Range Rover. And they walk around in their Lululemon leggings, shopping, shopping at Fashion Island at, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. And I go, well, when do you guys hang out? They're like, oh, he spends, most of his night at the office until 8 or 9 p.m. And yet they're going, oh, but we're good. And in my mind, I just go, no, you're not. And that's because they're selfish.
Yeah.
They're selfish. Because this woman right here, she didn't want me to go out and build something for her. She wanted to be in the trenches with me, building a legacy together. Hand in hand towards a common vision for our family's life. And you're amazing, babe.
Thank you.
Because you fought so hard for this, and you haven't been afraid to change. You haven't been afraid to be vulnerable. You've been the most incredible example to me, even, so that I can take ownership over the things that I can take ownership over, because I have so much confidence that you take ownership over the things that you need to take ownership of. And because of that, we grow together. And I'm so grateful. I'm so excited that you're free. I'm so excited that you don't have to freak out on Saturdays anymore. And
I think I'm working.
yeah, and wake up at 5 a.m. to work a whole Saturday away when that's prime time, loving time.
Sorry again, Mom.
It's okay. She wants to be a grandma too. So,
She's already grandma.
but I can't believe that this is literally just the beginning.
I know.
And it gets better and better and better from here.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for your freedom. I'm so excited to build a family together. And more importantly, I'm excited to get home so we can spend all of our time together.
Yeah.
I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. And I'd love for you to share your heart. Help me welcome my wife. A free woman! Oh! We love you. You know what?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna wear this
You have to
cape
hold it.
for 40 years. Thanks, babe. I love you. Oh my goodness, you guys, today has been a whirlwind. Oh, it's been a whirlwind since last Monday at around 8:13 a.m. And I know that because that's the exact moment I spoke to my boss about leaving my job forever. And it's such a surreal feeling, you guys, because, you know, growing up, he shared a lot of that, but we had incredible childhoods in terms of, you know, our parents doing what they thought was best, you know. It's like, I think if, you know, you guys or my parents knew that there was a life of freedom to be pursued, I think they would be smart enough to do that. And I think that's why it's such a blessing that you're in this room, because you no longer can use the excuse of not knowing. You now know. And now freedom is up to you. And, you know, poverty is self-imposed at this point.
Yep.
And we wanted to take that as not only just a challenge, but it was the one opportunity that we were ever given in our life to pursue greatness. You know, it's like all I saw growing up, and I love my parents. My mom was a stay-at-home mom my whole life, and I literally could cry thinking about that, because I know so many parents can't even imagine like what it would be like to live off of one income. And we were so blessed to have that. She was at every game, you know, every Girl Scout event and every fundraiser I had. She was there every field trip. That was my mom. And but unfortunately my dad missed out on all of that, and he was doing the best that he could. You know, he made great income. We never went without. But it's amazing how people will uproot their life for a job, but then they won't even like uproot their like selfish like habits to pursue greatness, right? It's like we moved from the Netherlands all the way to the United States for a job, like learn a new language, move into a new culture. You know, everything was different, and it was like on a whim, just we're moving. And I remember I was so young, I was 8, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me, but I remember my mom being like, I'm 40 and I'm moving my life over for a job. You know, what ended up happening was moved out here. I never saw him because now he was closer to the job, so he was more busy, traveling all the time. And to this day, I still don't have a relationship with my father. 3 years ago was almost late, and I really haven't talked to him since. And I don't think, I mean, I want to say it's not necessarily his fault, but it is his fault because he could have still at least tried to pursue a relationship with his daughters, but I think he was just so consumed with time that once that time's dwindled, you almost get more ashamed the less time you spend, so you almost try to just run and hide, and I think that's just comfort. And again, I just think that's sheepish, and I'm so thankful for you for never, ever, and I always wanted to pursue what's uncomfortable because that's what's right, and that's what a man does. Yeah. And that you pursued mentorship because mentorship. I'm so thankful for that. But we just knew that, you know, again, great life growing up, but we just didn't want to duplicate that. We wanted choices in our life. I didn't want to raise kids without a father, or maybe if I had a great job, I didn't want to raise kids without a mother. And that might seem really extreme to some of you, because you might, if you get around this social full-time parents and you're like, that'd be kind of cool, But I wanted to pour my values, and I wanted to have choices in my life. I wanted to be able to design what I wanted to do in my day. I think if you know what you're going to do, like Thursday morning at 10 a.m. in 2028, you're in a rut. That means you know exactly where you're going to be, because you're going to be at a job. And the coolest decision I've made, it wasn't even today smashing my alarm clock, which was pretty epic. But it was so cool when everyone was like, what are you going to do on your first day of freedom? And I'm like, well, we talked about Six Flags, and we talked about getting a Duffy tomorrow. Then we talked about having like cheese and crackers on the water. And then I'm like, well, maybe I can go for a run on the beach, or, maybe I can nap all day, catch up on all these. And then on a whim, we're going to Disneyland. So I'm fired up about that. And it's just crazy to think that while we're at Disneyland, getting fat, I'm all about that. My work, they're typing, checking in patients at a dental office. It's so sad. And what's so sad is when you work for a company, and it's an S, wherever the board went. No, that's okay. An S quadrant business, right? Husband and wife own a practice, super successful. She just leased a Range Rover. He just leased a Tesla. Like, cool. They don't even own those. And they never see each other because she works Tuesdays, Thursdays, and he works Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And I get it. It's because so one can be home with the kids, but that means that their kids miss out on half of their parents' life. Or you miss out on half of your kid's life, however you want to look at it, right? And she had the audacity to tell me when I put in my 2 weeks notice last Monday, aren't you going to be bored when you leave work here? Are you not going to what are you going to do all day? I'm like, everything that you try and cram in on a week. And I mean that with all my heart, but she's like, don't you want to if you guys have kids, collect maternity before you leave? I'm like, unless it pays me $10,000 a month, nope. That just means you don't have purpose. That means your purpose is drilling teeth. I know exactly what we're going to do, right? Gross. You scrape plaque off teeth. That's not purposeful. I'm sorry if you're a dentist. But we wanted to pour into each other and raise our children and be on field trips and have parents be very confused. Either they're drug dealers or they're just unemployed. And because they're always both here, And have our kids be confused of who's mom and who's dad. Because you can take him to school, or I can take him to school, or we can both take him to school and throw everybody off, Gosh, I wanted to be able to, build my life. And gosh, so many people, like you were saying, it's about what do you want to do when you grow up? And it's people construction. I'm like, I just want to construct a home that we're going to build, It's gosh, people want to be I want to be a marriage counselor. I'm like, I just want to focus on my marriage, because our marriage as an example can help marriages. A lot of times marriage counselors are divorced. I'm not even kidding, It's I want to be in child development. No, I want to develop my children. Yeah. And you can do all those things without having to do them for a paycheck. Yep. Yeah. We met a gal one time, super cool couple, pretty cool. And she was like, for a job, I actually make gift baskets that I bring to children's hospitals to make them feel better as they're going through treatment. I'm like, that's amazing, that's awesome. She's like, but I would really love to build assets in my life and build wealth. All the things people say keywords that make you think they're ambitious. And we share with them just kind of what we have going on, and they are blown away. And for us, it's we want to help people. It's we don't want to be oh wow, you want something greater? Well, good luck. Hope you find it. It's we have our hands on that. Yeah. And they were like, no, because what I do is what I'm passionate about. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I want to be able to help people. And I go, do you realize if you're a millionaire, you can make gift baskets all day long, and you can go whenever you want? Because I'm pretty sure come 5 p.m., you're not passionate about making gift baskets anymore. You want to go home to your family. Yeah. And you get to do things because you want to do them, not because you have to. Yeah. That's what we're fired up about. And I'm so thankful we get to work on something together that build us. It's we have a vision and we go towards it together. And the more we go towards our vision, the closer we get. Because it's amazing how in society you could be really successful in your job, but you still can't afford a home. At least not one that you're stoked about. Was always there, It's like I meet so many people that, yeah, the wife's at home with the kids and the dad works great, great job and career, but they still are still renting. Yeah. And I don't mean to judge that, but I just don't think that's success because you don't own that home, someone else does. Yeah. And the moment they want to maybe sell that home or the moment they maybe want to move their kids in, you're out. Yep. And we wanted ownership over our life, and I'm so thankful that you're willing to do that for us and build that, and so thankful for you guys for stepping out and just being the besides you. Thank you for changing everything, because that moment on Monday when I told my boss, like, hey, here's my letter, and it was a letter that they've never gotten before because it went through entire corporate, and I've gotten a lot of phone calls about, like, what do you guys do? You're 31. But it basically said something like, hey, thank you so much for allowing me to work here. It's been great. But you know what? My family, my husband, my future kids, our freedom, taking care of my mom, visiting my sister, pouring into my nephews, so much more important to me. We no longer need this job for income. Logically, it doesn't make sense either. And as of March 14th, I'm getting free. So the letter actually said March 15th because I wanted to put in my 2 weeks, not my 13 days. But this morning, everyone showed up at my office building at 9:30 a.m. These guys were in a limo. Some of you guys were in the limo. You were in the limo. Jordan got on top of the limo, screaming freedom, set Cheryl free. I remember we did that for her, set Charity free, because jobs are jail. And my work was like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, isn't your last day tomorrow? I'm like, I think this is a sign that it's today. See ya. And they even were like, well, you have to check out this patient. I'm like, no, I don't. I got to check out my husband. Yeah. That's what I'm going to check out right now. And we smashed that alarm clock again. Like, what the heck, man? You know what? You don't smash alarm clocks every day. If that was my job, I'd be great at it, But we smashed the alarm clock, drove off in a limo, and I'll never see that building ever again. Woo! Pretty awesome. And but like you said, I'm not here to just talk about my freedom, my battle cry, everything inside of me, my soul. I'm gonna have Post-its everywhere is to get my husband free, because then we can be free together, and then we have all the time in the world to get you guys free, and the next person for you wants to be free. And our goal has always been at least that diamond level, because that means we've helped at least 6 families achieve what we've done today. It's just never gonna get old, helping people and serving people. So if you're a guest here tonight, I would encourage you just to learn, because if you don't finish out a learning process, I think that's your fault, and you're going to make a decision based on assumptions and not facts. And the learning process and finishing that was the best thing that we've ever done. This is not fake. This is real. If they give you materials to go through, get through them, because it'll show that you're actually serious. We're not here to play around. This is kind of a weeding out process, not a sign up process. But I'm proud of you for being here and earning a spot in this room, because you truly earned it. We don't just let anybody in here, because we guard this association and we guard this house. It's our life and it's integrous, and we don't want the outside negativity like spilling in here. That world's already brainwashed. We want to keep this pure, So learn, keep growing, plug into whoever brought you here today. Am I wrapping it up? Or would you guys?
Yeah,
I am? Okay.
Do we have the room till 11?
We do have the room till 11.
So we could break.
Okay.
And then we could do a quick training.
For business hours? Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to break right now. Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you, Clint and Cherry, guests, and then we're actually going to meet with the local entrepreneurs and do a training, which is going to be awesome with Clint and Charity. So love you all. Drive safe.